You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Body and Soul Gym in the heart of Talpiot. Great machines, excellent staff, and wonderful classes such as Pilates, yoga, and kickboxing. Give them a call at 02-678-8861. Once again, that's 02-678-8861. www.body-soul.co.il. Once again, that's www.body-soul.co.il. That's Body and Soul in the heart of Talpiot, which is great for your body and your soul.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed Frequent Flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamics specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Shutt Sports products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Harry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Are you tired of paying for expensive gym memberships that you don't use? Are you frustrated by not seeing results? It's time for the X1. Israel Gym Systems is proud to launch the X1 suspension and bodyweight training system. Lose weight, build muscle, improve balance, coordination, and flexibility. With your purchase of the X1, you'll receive a free membership to IsraelGym.com and access to our archives of videos and exercise plans. Sign up today at www.IsraelGym.com and get ready for the new you. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
DJ Venom, DJ Venom, DJ Venom, DJing parties throughout Israel, birthday parties, weddings, club events, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, and much more. You pick the type of music and DJ Venom will turn your event into the party of the year. Available Sunday through Thursday. Call 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. That's 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. Book your party today. That's DJ Venom.
Broadcasting live from Israel.
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
From the Israel Sports Radio studios, it's Loose Live! There's your host, me, and Raphael Gellar. How you doing, Raphael?
I'm alive.
Yeah, me too.
I'm doing well.
A rabbi told me on Shabbat you're not allowed to say Israel is hot, but it's warm. We can at least say that.
Yeah, but we have a fan now in the house.
Yeah, we do.
So we're feeling good.
Yeah, it's nice and comfortable. Got my Coke Zero. You're welcome to partake. And I had some water.
I have water today.
Wow, so much to begin with. We have a huge show. A great guest, Kevin Gilbride, the offensive coordinator for the New York Football Giants, will be on. We're going to also have the play-by-play voice for the Chicago Bulls, and Clenari Cardo will come on as well. But we're going to do a very special segment right now. We're going to do a PTI style. Of course, we're big fans of PTI. They do a great job over at ESPN. So we're going to take the news headlines and talk about them for 2 minutes.
Yeah, about 2 minutes.
We'll do it for about 2 minutes. So we'll get things started. Roger Clemens acquitted of perjury charges. Of course, he testified in front of Congress in 2008. Raphael, does this acquit him in the public opinion, the court of public opinion?
No, Tony. No. By the way, I'm going to be Michael, and Ari's going to be Tony Kornheiser, just because I think that fits.
Okay.
Fits better.
Tony's older, so that works.
Right. No, I don't think so, because people see this. It actually maybe might hurt Roger Clemens. You can make that argument because...
That he was acquitted?
Yeah, because it's bullshit. Everyone knows it's bullshit. Now everyone's just going to say he got off easy. And
this picture they have of him on Yahoo.com, I mean, he looks guilty. He's like, oh, I got away with something.
Yeah,
here.
He looks like he got away. You never know what happened. He has a lot of money.
What do you say? You think he bribed a jury member?
It's possible. I mean, I don't see how it's I don't understand how this happened.
One of the things that really killed the prosecution's case was Andy Pettit's saying it was 50-50 what he heard, what he remembered, basically flip-flopped on a story. You had the traitor McNamee,
right?
His ex-wife, excuse me. That testimony really hurt the prosecution. It's like this. Bob Costas had a great line about Barry Bonds. He said that Barry Bonds didn't cheat, didn't take steroids. Not only is he the greatest baseball player of all time, he is a better baseball player than Michael Jordan was a basketball player, Gretzky hockey player, and so on and so on. What people forget is that we live in court TV world, and we think some guy has to come out of the room and say, I got the final evidence. And that's not the way it is. People have been charged and committed and convicted of crimes with less evidence than they have against Roger Clemens. The prosecution caught some bad breaks because of what happened with the cop and so on, but what can I tell you? At 32 years old, he should have been done. He was at the twilight of his career. That's why the Red Sox let him part ways and go to your Toronto Blue Jays, where he then won 2 Cy Youngs back-to-back.
Right.
4 total after the age of 32. There's no doubt he did it. Look at his face, his body. He ballooned. Everything got bigger. And Roger has a big enough ego, just like Barry Bonds did. They did it for attention. The ironic thing is...
Oh, sorry, all right, we got to move on. Got to move on. I'm sorry.
Just in a roll there.
I'll move on to the next story. Pretty interesting thing here from the New York Mets for our listeners out in New York. R.A. Dickey has 2 one-hitters in a row. Ari, have you ever seen something like this before?
We know Bob Feller had 12 one-hitters. I don't recall anyone having 2 one-hitters. Well, actually, someone in baseball history, I believe, had 2 no-hitters in a row.
Ha! My boy from Dave Stipe from the Blue Jays from 1988 had thrown consecutive one-hitters before in 1988. So that was the last time that happened.
Okay. So this Dickey guy is 37 years old.
11-1.
Wow. So you're talking about a potential Cy. Well, he is a Cy Young candidate. He's not a potential Cy Young candidate. Potential Cy Young winner.
All-Star game potentially.
These things, sometimes a perfect game or a no-hitter sways the voters. Sometimes it doesn't. In 1998, I definitely believe that the big man from New York, from the New York Yankees, who threw a perfect game, David Wells, that was the tipping point that got him to Cy Young. Not that he didn't deserve it, but I think that really pushed him over and to get it. Voters could remember this, the two one-hitters in a row.
Right. It's still early. We're not even in July. He could still get his no-hitter. We'll see what happens with that. Interesting thing, though, is against a very hot Orioles team that seems to be not
it's frustrating when you
off.
see these perfect games or no-hitters against these crappy teams. It's very frustrating. For David Cohn in 1999, I think, did it against the Expos.
Right.
It's almost like that game shouldn't count. If you do it against a Triple League or a Little League team, you shouldn't get credit for a perfect game.
And
but Dickey earned it. Ozark
right.
Ball Club.
Right, and Ike Davis, who's a Jew, hit a grand slam in the game last night. So we got the run support from the Jew. That's how we do it.
Absolutely.
And, it's an interesting thing what he's doing here is I think he's the longest streak without giving up a run. The last person who had his record was Dwight Gooden, I think Hall of Famer, at least.
And a sparkling 2.00 ERA, tied with Beachy of the Atlanta Braves, and 37 years old.
Winning everything right now. Strikeouts, wins, and ERA.
103 strikeouts and 11 wins.
I kind of want to say steroids. I kind of
He came out of nowhere. You got a great point there. 37 years old.
Let's look at his stats in the last few years.
One of the things I'm curious about, now see, if we go back the last year, 2011, last season, over 208 innings, he had one complete game, and ERA 3.28. And the year before,
pretty good, actually.
2.84. Let's go full career. But he might have got the steroid bounce. As the saying goes, the criminals are always ahead of the cops. So don't be fooled by the fact they have the toughest steroid policy in all sports. Doesn't mean he can't get it through. Now,
whoa,
this is some weird numbers here. This one really, 2006, he only played one game.
Right.
Okay, so
Tommy John or something.
Yeah, and he didn't have a good game. 18.9 ERA for the season in 2006. So
and we got to move on though. 2 minutes per topic.
Oh, look at there's the bell.
There's the bell.
Let's move on. So far, again, we touched upon Roger Clemens and R.A. Dickey.
And now, all right, go ahead with the next topic.
Tomlinson. Let's talk about his status, his legacy, if you will. He signed, of course, the one-day contract with San Diego, so he's going to finish out his career. Had, obviously, his Hall of Fame career in San Diego. Had a couple of nice years with the Jets. Not Hall of Fame
one
years.
Good year, 950 yards. Last year, 225 yards.
Yeah, that wasn't so good. But his first year with the Jets, I certainly thought he was done. I was surprised that he was able to get near 1,000 yards. He certainly proved me wrong, and I ate crow there. But then last year you saw that was pretty much the end for LT. Of course, still holds the record for most touchdowns in a season. And where is he?
Shaun Alexander.
Right, beat Shaun Alexander's record, and Shaun Alexander won the MVP that season. So did LT won the MVP in his record-breaking season. Where is LT on the list? Let's not even, first before we go all-time running backs, because I don't know where LT really cracks. Jim Brown, you're not going to tell me that LT's better than Jim Brown or better than Walter Payton or...
Even Emmitt Smith.
I would say, right, even Emmitt Smith. Just about to say that. In the modern era, the last 10 years, where is LT?
Yeah, you look at all the great running backs in the last 10, 20 years... A lot of them have not been able to really have the type of career that LT's had. You have Priest Holmes, who had 5-6 Pro Bowl years with the Chiefs, a guy who was unstoppable. Then Larry Johnson for the Chiefs, but that seemed like it was for a couple of years, 3-4 years.
Yeah, well, the saying goes, a running back is only 4-year career, really. Most running backs, average running backs, and where Tomlinson... was able to do for so much longer than 4 years, obviously.
I'll put him at number one in the modern era. All right, what do you think?
Who would you rather have carry the ball, I guess is what I would say.
At their prime in the last 20 years.
Oh, you're going 20 years?
20 years. Sure, 20 years.
Yeah, but Emmitt's in the 90s.
Emmitt was done, though, by 2000. His career was, yeah.
If you go the last 10 years.
All right, last 10
If we go the last 10 years, I would say, I think you're right. I mean, there's not even another one.
I don't think there's anyone close to LT. Think about it.
Adrian Peterson.
Adrian Peterson, yeah. But he's still very young.
Very fumble prone also.
He's only had, I think, 3 Pro Bowl seasons.
It's a shame because LT never got to play in the Super Bowl, had his chances.
Oh, wait. That's what really hurt him against my Patriots. Very
when
famous.
The game was over. The interception was thrown, and had a member of the Chargers, I forgot who caught it, simply just kneeled. It would have been over.
I think it was the guy who's on the Jets now. Cromartie, the guy who has 9 kids with 10 wives,
Cromartie?
10 girls. Yeah. Whatever. But maybe not. Maybe it wasn't in the league yet. But, yeah, I think I'd go with LT.
You're right. I would say second. It's hard to pick a second because it's so far distant. Probably Adrian Peterson because of the amount of yards. And after that, I don't know. It's frustrating. This last 10 years has not been a good decade for running backs. Kind of been a bit of a blur. Okay, let's move on to our next topic.
Okay, so Ari, it appears that the Bobcats, it's a very, very weird thing to say, but the Bobcats are going to be going for St. John's assistant coach, Mike Dunlap. Who before we start hitting on, there's a guy who's known across the NBA for being very, very well respected, for recruiting and all that kind of stuff. Of course, worked under Steve Lavin last year and the year before that, I believe. But Ari, is this the type of guy that you want to lead a club that needs
759? How are they? They really think they're going to improve that drastically, I understand. Why not make a splash? Well, kind of going to go back to this. I mean, you could have had Patrick Ewing.
Right. And, he did work under George Karl, made a couple playoff appearances, so he has been in the NBA. He's been around everywhere. We're looking at his resume right now. Arizona, very, very must have been under Lute Olson. Oregon, used to be a respected basketball program. So he's young.
Well,
40,
you know what?
46 years old.
Maybe I take back what I said, because who else would you really brought in? The problem with bringing in a Patrick Ewing, generally time shows that when you have a legendary type of player or Hall of Fame type of player, he turns out not to be such a great coach because he expects all the players to play just like him, and they're obviously not able to. Not everyone is a Patrick Ewing. Maybe you give a shot to this young guy and see what happens. I guess you can only go up when your record last season was 7-59.
Right, and of course, yeah, exactly. They were injured last year. They have some nice pieces, Kemba Walker. It'll be interesting to see what happens. The guy definitely wants to prove himself. As I mentioned, was with St. John's last year, was very well known around the college world. Weird thing here, though, is that you don't take a guy like Brian Shaw, who's won 2 championships as an assistant with the Lakers and, of course, won with the Lakers, and you don't take a Quinn Snyder, who also has been with the Lakers. Brian Shaw was with the Pacers last year, a guy who was a head coach at Missouri, very well respected his time at Missouri, very well respected around the country. I believe Phil Jackson brought him on board. It might have been Mike Brown, but I remember I think he was on Phil Jackson's staff and then got retained by Mike Brown. I could be wrong about that. But you go with this guy over him. Good luck to the Bobcats. I mean, I have nothing against Charlotte. I wish them the best of luck. We'll see what happens there. You know that Michael's going to be called out for this if this does not work well. But we have some breaking news into the newsroom. Oh, there's the bell. Okay. So, Ari, go ahead with the next story here, because it's a very interesting one.
Well, apparently, Michael Phelps is going to be swimming 7 events at the U.S. trials, and he could potentially
break his
own record.
Wow.
By getting 10 gold medals.
This is big news. This is coming in right now. In America, it's 12:15, and in Pacific time, it's 9:15. Wow. So, Ari, what do you think happens? I mean, what do we think of this guy if he wins 5 more Olympic medals? This guy one of the best U.S. Olympic athletes of all time. Is it fair to say that? Or is he already?
Well, I feel like he is already, based on his previous reports in the Olympics 4 years ago, but this could really put him in a. Right now when you say Olympics to me, I think the first name I think of is Carl Lewis.
Right.
And if Michael Phelps can get this done, I think the first name I might think of is Michael Phelps. If he can get this done.
Right.
Obviously, it's not going to be so simple. There's going to be a lot of competition against him, but we'll see what happens. What do you think? Can he really get this done?
Yes, because he's still very young. He's despite all the pictures with the bong and this and that, very good work ethic. And, yeah.
I think that's another thing he has to atone for as well, that whole bong incident.
Yeah,
that is also
I
something I kind of
go away. I don't think it's a big deal. That's just my opinion.
It was one of the things I kind of thought of when I first saw the breaking news was the bong incident. It was a picture that kind of faded out a little bit and then back in. But these medals that he can get could certainly put that memory to rest and could really put him at a whole other level, an elite level, as far as the world of Olympics.
Right, and if we remember the bong picture, there's still questions of if there was actually marijuana in the bong and he was just posing for a picture. I know that's funny to believe, but no, they have never proved it. If you look it up, if we look it up in the commercial,
was he smoking tobacco?
Who knows? I mean, and he didn't really comment about it either. And even if he was, so he was. I mean, you think 90% of the NBA doesn't? If we find out that LeBron James smokes, are we going to hate him? Nancy Botwin from Weeds proved to the world that everyone smokes. Your doctor smokes. Your lawyer smokes.
What? Who proves it?
Nancy Botwin from Weeds. Come on, Ari. You don't know what Weeds is?
No, what was it?
It's one of the most popular shows the last 10 years. But you're behind, of course, because you don't have a TV. That would hurt you.
Yeah.
But, no, it's who knows? I mean, I'm not saying I condone it. I'm just saying that it's not the biggest thing in the world. But that's the bell. And
we have our next great story coming up. This is really incredible. Of course, the list has come out for the highest paid athletes. And Do you know who is number one, Raphael?
In the last...
No, this last year.
This last year? No. Who is number one?
Well, it's a jailbird.
Oh, wow.
Floyd Mayweather. Buddy is his nickname, of course.
85 million.
He only fought twice in the last 12 months, but it was good enough for $85 million. Of course, big pay-per-view fights.
Right.
Gets a big piece of that. Now, one of the things...
Tiger's still up there, though.
Tiger is third with $59.4 million.
That's amazing. If you
those
think
endorsements that he signed were long before the incident with his ex-wife.
But he lost a lot of them.
He lost a lot, but enough to...
not enough. Not all of them,
Still
obviously.
enough to maintain. So instead of making $100 million a year, maybe he only makes $60. And, of course, Mayweather, a secret to his financial success is he promotes it. He has a promotions company, Mayweather Promotions, so he gets all the revenue from the tickets, pay-per-view, sponsorships of the events, all that kind of stuff.
Wow, Pacquiao, another boxer, second place.
Yeah, Pacquiao is second. He had $62 million last year and also only fought twice. Juan Manuel Marquez and Tim Bradley lost that fight, but, of course, got the payday anyways.
Yeah, right. How much did Bradley make? I think it was 20 mil or something. Less 15, 12.
Bradley, I don't know if Bradley even cleared 10.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So definitely it was Pacquiao's card. Pacquiao, he gets a bit of a boost because he got some new endorsements with Hewlett-Packard and Nike and so on, and also his contingent of Philippine fans of the Philippines watch the fight helps him as well. Fourth on the list, LeBron James.
Wow, that's big. It's big to have a basketball guy in the top 5. I'm one of these guys who's obsessed with these lists. You usually don't have a basketball guy ever in the top 5, and now there's 2. Kobe Bryant.
2 in the top 6, yes.
2 in the top 10. Sorry, yeah. Just reading down the list, an interesting one is David Beckham.
He's not the best soccer player on his own team, correct?
No, he is not.
$47.8 million.
Right.
I mean, 46 for
And,
David Beckham. Phil Mickelson still there.
Right. Interesting. Peyton Manning, of course, got the salary from the team. Irsay said he would pay him no matter what. But his salary wasn't $42 million. That's,
right. Most of that is endorsements.
Endorsements. Cristiano Ronaldo, interesting. Not to see Messi on the list, considered the greatest soccer player in the world. No baseball players, Ari.
Yeah.
What? Interesting.
No
A-Rod used to be on this list every year.
A-Rod hasn't done a lot of commercials, not as much as he used to, so that's part of the reason why he's not on there. He would have the easiest time getting on there as far as for baseball player because his salary is at over $30 million. And LeBron, by the way, just so you know, $53 million, Kobe Bryant $52.3, so they're neck and neck. Kobe Bryant has a higher salary. Actually, salary is about twice LeBron James or close to that, but LeBron does a lot more commercials, obviously, even though the whole decision thing hurt him, still not hurting him in the financial aspect.
This is a pretty crazy stat, Ari. If you didn't know, Ari, how many women do you think would guess were in the top 100?
So I would say 5 to 10.
2.
Yeah, 2.
That's really sad. I mean, I'm sure Diana Redmond would have something to say about that if she was on our show. And it was Maria Sharapova. You see, it's weird not to see the Williams sisters on that because they do a lot of commercials.
Yeah, and they own a couple of companies. I think they own a clothing brand.
Right. Well, maybe I don't know if that's count. I think this is total revenue, so it should be counted. Interesting. Just some notables. Usain Bolt was 63 with 20 million, and wow.
Wait. Who?
Usain Bolt, the runner.
Oh, okay.
And everyone, if you added everyone's salaries together, it was $2.6 billion. The top 100 athletes in the world are paid, and there's a lot of people on that list that make a lot of money too. Like, let's not be silly here. Peyton Manning's contract was $26 million, so he got $16 million in endorsements. Interesting. Here we go. Reebok, Gatorade, Sony, DirecTV, Wheaties, and Papa John's. That's a lot of things to do. Interesting that my boy Brady wasn't on the list. Just kind of shows.
Yeah, Peyton does a lot more commercials than Tom. Terrific.
Yeah, and that's something that, in my opinion, could speak for itself. But we won't get into that. In fact, I think the bell. Yep, there's the bell. And we have one more topic that
Wait, are you trying to say that Tom cares more about the team?
I'm trying to say that now's not a time because we could do this for 20, 30 minutes. But Good news here for the Yankees right now. I think 10 wins in a row for the Yankees, beating the Atlanta Braves, Andy Gershman's Atlanta Braves right now. At the start of the season, a lot of questions on whether this Yankee team was going to be good, do this, do that. Suddenly, out of nowhere,
first place,
41-25. That's tops in the big league, Ari.
Well, not just that. They have a plus run difference of plus 60.
That's by far the top.
Well, it's second to the Rangers.
Oh, the Rangers.
Rangers in the American League, 88.
Right.
A plus 88. In the National League, to give you some perspective, the National League's top is 53. So the National League's top team would be third place in the American League. The idea of the dominance between the leagues. Nationals, by the way, the Mets, who are second place in the National League East, have a minus run differential of 3.
That's been the issue there forever. They've never been able to contribute runs for their pitchers, but their pitchers have put it together. They're only 4 out from the Nationals. But back to the Yankees. That's what this segment's about, Ari.
Yes.
Interesting. I mean, to see, I remember we've had on David Dobin, they were a few games behind the Orioles a month ago. Suddenly they're just rolling 10 in a row, really playing well on the road. Very impressive road record, 21-13. And, it's good to see it's good for baseball when the Yankees are doing well. I know it's not a nice thing to say, but we'll see what happens the rest of the year. It's going to be a great baseball season. There's the bell. That was our PTI segment. I hope
it's funny how that
it.
was the shortest segment when it came to a team beating your team in the American League East.
It's funny, but that's the way the cookie crumbles, as Bruce Almighty would say. We're going to a commercial. When we're back, Clonard Carter discuss Miami Heat and the NBA Finals. So stay with us.
You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Body and Soul Gym in the heart of Talpiot. Great machines, excellent staff, and wonderful classes such as Pilates, yoga, and kickboxing. Give them a call at 02-678-8861. Once again, that's 02-678-8861. www.body-soul.co.il. Once again, that's www.body-soul.co.il. That's Body and Soul in the heart of Talpiot, which is great for your body and your soul.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed Frequent Flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamics specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Shutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Harry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Are you tired of paying for expensive gym memberships that you don't use? Are you frustrated by not seeing results? It's time for the X1. Israel Gym Systems is proud to launch the X1 suspension and bodyweight training system. Lose weight, build muscle, improve balance, coordination, and flexibility. With your purchase of the X1, you'll receive a free membership to IsraelGym.com and access to our archives of videos and exercise plans. Sign up today at www.israelgym.com and get ready for the new you. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
DJ Venom. DJ Venom. DJ Venom. DJing parties throughout Israel. Birthday parties, weddings, club events, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, and much more. You pick the type of music, and DJ Venom will turn your event into the party of the year. Available Sunday through Thursday. Call 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. That's 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. Book your party today. That's DJ Venom.
Broadcasting live from Israel.
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
From the Israel Sports Radio Studios in Jerusalem, Israel, our nation's capital, it's News Live!
You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Body and Soul Gym in the heart of Talpiot. Great machines, excellent staff, and wonderful classes such as Pilates, yoga, and kickboxing. Give them a call at 02-678-8861. Once again, that's 02-678-8861. www.body-soul.co.il. Once again, that's www.body-soul.co.il. That's Body and Soul in the heart of Talpiot, which is great for your body and your soul.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed frequent flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamics specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Shutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Harry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Are you tired of paying for expensive gym memberships that you don't use? Are you frustrated by not seeing results? It's time for the X1. Israel Gym Systems is proud to launch the X1 suspension and bodyweight training system. Lose weight, build muscle, improve balance, coordination, and flexibility. With your purchase of the X1, you'll receive a free membership to IsraelGym.com and access to our archives of videos and exercise plans. Sign up today at www.IsraelGym.com and get ready for the new you. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
DJ Venom. DJ Venom. DJ Venom. DJing parties throughout Israel. Birthday parties, weddings, club events, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, and much more. You pick the type of music, and DJ Venom will turn your event into the party of the year. Available Sunday through Thursday. Call 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. That's 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. Book your party today. That's DJ Venom.
Broadcasting live from Israel.
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Back here on Lewis Live on IsraelSportsRadio.com. We're going to dial up our next guest, fan favorite here of the show. I want to remind everyone we have a huge, huge show again today. We appreciate everyone for coming and listening to us. Basically, we have the offense coordinator for the New York Giants and play-by-play man for the Chicago Bulls. Also want to take everyone to...
We might have the play-by-play guy for the Chicago Bulls. I just told you that.
Right.
2 seconds ago.
Right. So we'll see what happens there. Hopefully we'll have him on some point. And we're and also want to remind everyone to check out our store by clicking on the store tab of IsraelSportsRadio.com. A lot of great items there, hats, T-shirts, and much, much more. But right now we're going to dial up our first guest of the evening. Get fan favorite, Clinari Carter. And he's our Southern correspondent to the United States, and we're going to dial up right out here on IsraelSportsRadio.com. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and we hope we're glad that you chose us to be part of your day. Again, IsraelSportsRadio.com, the only station talking sports here in the Middle East, the greatest show, Lewis Live, in the Eastern Hemisphere.
Yes, sir. All right.
So, dialing right now. All right.
Automatic.
Okay. So we're still working on it, and
actually, our first guest of the night is Eric Stover, former managing director of the New York Red Bulls. We made a mistake. Clonar's on for 30 minutes.
Okay.
So my apologies there. But I'll be doing most of this interview, most likely.
Yeah, I would say so.
But forgot about him, which is weird because he's a very huge guest for us, from the former director of the New York Red Bulls.
So, all right, good stuff here. Very famous guy. Eric Stover, of course.
Right.
And be good to talk to Eric about soccer.
MLS.
I'll have to come up with some questions so I could say that I spoke with Eric. Got to interview this famous man.
All right, we're going to go to commercial.
Yes, you're listening to Lewis Live in IsraelSportsRadio.com. Thank you for tuning in.
You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Body and Soul Gym in the heart of Talpiot. Great machines, excellent staff, and wonderful classes such as Pilates, yoga, and kickboxing. Give them a call at 02-678-8861. Once again, that's 02-678-8861. www.body-soul.co.il. Once again, that's www.body-soul.co.il. That's Body and Soul in the heart of Talpiot, which is great for your body and your soul.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed frequent flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Back here on Lewis Live and IsraelSportsRadio.com, and we're going to dial up our first guest of the evening.
We had a little complications the last 10 minutes, but we're good to go now for the rest of the show. And we are going to be dialing up Eric Stover, the former managing director of the New York Red Bulls. And we're going to talk to him about a lot of different stuff going on in the soccer world, mostly MLS talk,
The New York Red Bulls are a huge team. Maybe are they as famous as the LA Galaxy?
No, not as much.
So we're gonna get in touch with Eric.
Hello?
Hi, Eric. This is Ari Lewis with Lewis Live at IsraelSportsRadio.com. How you doing out there?
Very good. How are you?
Oh, doing well. It's a pleasure, of course, to speak with now the former manager of the New York Red Bulls of the MLS. I want to introduce you to my co-host, Raphael Gellar.
I just want to correct either the former director, not manager. Manager, of course, is coach in soccer. But thank you for coming on, Eric. We really appreciate it.
No, it's a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to it. Thanks, guys.
And as I mentioned, the former director of the Red Bulls, a lot of exciting stuff happened in the Red Bulls in your tenure. And the first thing we want to talk about is your time there and what you accomplished. And with the Euro going on and France being successful, we got to talk about Henry's move to the Red Bulls and how that got orchestrated. So we'd love to hear how that happened and how you guys made it work.
Well, when I took over managing director position, we were in quite a bit of turmoil at the time. It was a very new position for me, and we went through a lot of changes very quickly. We sold Josie Altidore to Villarreal, and Claudio Reyna, our highest paid player, retired, and all that happened in the first couple of weeks I took over the position. And about the same time, our conversations with Darren Dean, Thierry Henry's agent, started. So it was certainly a whirlwind for me. But Darren and I have developed a really close friendship over the years, and he was very great from the outset. And it was clear to us that Thierry was interested in MLS in New York specifically. And we were looking for a guy that would take us to the next level, a David Beckham-like player, and there are very few of them in the world at any given time that are in a position in their career that they are ready to come to MLS. So for us, we had a long list of potential big-name targets, but Henry was clearly number one. And at the time, he was doing exceptionally well with Barcelona. I think he led the club in scoring that year, and then the following year they won the treble. So it was just a long process, 2 years of talking, getting to know each other, letting Darren and Thierry know what we were about, what our plans were with stadium construction, and where we saw the vision of the club. So it was, for me, it started very quickly, but it ended up being a very long process that I think has paid a lot of dividends for the club. I think when he's fit and healthy, he's the best player in MLS, and got off to a fabulous start this year.
Right, and looking at the time, it was probably perfect timing for him to leave Barcelona, just because it really became Messi's team and Iniesta's team and all those guys. I wanted to ask you, though, you mentioned how you had it took a long time, and you told them about your stadium plans. A lot of people assume that when a player makes a jump from Europe to the United States, it's all about money, and it's just about that. But it's, as you mentioned, there's more detail. The player wants to know what he's where he's going and what he's doing. So can you talk a little bit about how it's more than the money that brings the player, gets the player interested to make the jump to the MLS? I think that'd be interesting.
Yeah, Thierry was a very unique case. You can count on one hand the number of guys that have won as many trophies as he has throughout his career. So even though he was still playing at a very high level, he'd taken a couple knocks with Barcelona, but still could have gotten into the side regularly. And if Barca wasn't the thing for him, he certainly could have gone back to the English Premier League and played at a top club. We saw that this past summer,
right,
or this past winter with him. So for him, I think he was thinking about helping the league, helping take it to the next level the way David Beckham did with his transfer. He certainly wanted a professional organization, and quite frankly, when we started this conversation, we weren't ready for a player of his caliber to come in and manage the media at the level that he brings it, the training facility and the support staff. MLS is still in its relative infancy in those things, and so we had a lot of conversations about that. Certainly it helped that, we're in the New York market. He absolutely loved New York City, and I think he saw what many executives see, and that MLS is eventually going to send to one of the top leagues in the world, and he wanted to be part of the process of getting it there. So, and then for us, we were a unique organization. We're Red Bull New York, not just the New York Red Bulls. So we obviously have that very close tie, owned by the energy drink company. And for Red Bull, from the energy drink point of view, there was really no better player that was going to help raise the profile of the brand internationally. And we certainly saw that the first couple of weeks we brought him into New York.
Absolutely, and I mean, honestly, Eric, I'm not just saying this because you're on our show, but I think the play of Henry is much, I don't want to say better, but different than Beckham, more of a scoring threat, more of a superstar. Beckham was a great player, still is a great player, but was known more for his passing ability, his free kick ability, but Henry, I believe, is the all-time goal scorer at Arsenal, the all-time goal scorer for the French national team, so we're talking about could be one of the greatest soccer players in the last 40, 50 years, in my opinion, where Beckham is more of a face and an icon than an actual amazing player. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Beckham too, he's a great player, but Henry's just kind of on another level. And was there kind of talk about, and be honest with us, Eric, was there kind of talk about the competition, or not the competition, but what it would be like for the Galaxy to bring in Beckham, for Henry to bring in, or for the Red Bulls to bring in Henry? I know that Beckham was already with the Galaxy when you brought him in, but were you guys trying to think of what this could mean to our city and our fans the way as it kind of did for the Galaxy?
Yeah, I think Thierry clicked every box for us. He was and still is a fabulous player, and was maybe at the end of his prime, but still in his prime when we brought him over. So we knew putting him on the field, we were instantly going to be better, even though it's obviously a team game and one man can't just take over a club and a league. But he certainly was going to make our striker position that much better. He also is outstanding in the locker room and was helping youth players develop. We did our research. We talked at length with him about that, and we saw that as the future of the club, and particularly in the New York market, there's a lot of young players in our academy system we were building and adding on to, and having a guy of his caliber, not only in the first team squad, but sticking around after training to work with younger kids, sent a very good message in the market and changed people's perspective of us. And we also saw ourselves, as you mentioned, as in direct competition with the Galaxy. Not only in competition with them, but also in the league's need to have both New York and LA making headlines. And we thought certainly that Henry would help us do that and bring us as close as we could, media-wise, to reaching David Beckham's star. So it worked. As I said, it clicked every box for us, and it took tremendous amount of effort, a very long time, a lot of conversations. Even though we both wanted this marriage to happen, it was not easy. So a lot of credit to a lot of people for us to getting it over the line.
Right, and yeah, I think that's interesting. And now it's been a couple of years that he's been there. So, I mean, you're not with the organization still, but you still have an outside perspective. What do you think his legacy's been with the Red Bulls so far? I know he's had some injuries lately. I think he's bounced back from that. I think he had some injuries last year. But what do you think, at the end of the day, when it's over, people will say about everything that he was able to accomplish?
I feel bad for him that he's had some of these injuries. That's the risk you take with older players. But when, as I said before, when he's fit and healthy, no question in my mind, he's far and away the best player in the league. If they didn't have him last year, they don't make the playoffs. He scored numerous goals at the death, 80 minutes plus to get a draw or to get a win last year. And he came out of the box this year just lighting it up. Unfortunately, he got a relatively serious hamstring injury, but he was on pace to crush scoring records in the league. And so, you take that risk bringing in an older player, but you also expect that there are going to be matches that he misses, and that's sort of the challenge of helping the league get to the next level. The teams like LA and New York that take that risk often don't have cover in certain positions because they've spent their salary cap money bringing in superstars. And so when they do get injured or have national team duty, like Donovan and Beckham have and Robbie Keane have for the Galaxy, now you're shorthanded and you're trying to win within the league, and that's a real challenge. So there's always been two philosophies in MLS. One is sort of the New York, LA, go after it, spend big, bring in stars, and then you see clubs that are very successful, like Real Salt Lake, that work within the system,
right,
have more balance across the roster, and are certainly more consistent throughout the entire schedule.
Yeah, and next I want to talk about the MLS and what it's been able to accomplish, because of course we live in Israel, so we are not the biggest MLS fans, though I will say I watch it sometimes when it's on TV here on our local Fox here. But really the last few years I've been doing a lot of reading. We've had Jeff August, who's the MLS technical director, on the show. And the MLS has really worked hard on expanding, worked hard on building youth academies. And, you look at teams in the West Coast, Portland Timbers, I believe, LA Galaxy, Seattle Sounders. Those fans are nuts. They get 30,000, 40,000 people a game. The average attendance for the soccer games is almost doubled of some NHL arenas. So this is a pretty exciting thing right now. Of course, Vancouver were added this year. The Vancouver Whitecaps, and I believe the Montreal Impact. So could you talk about what the commissioner has been able to do? I believe Don Garber, what he's been able to do over the last few years to really, get to a whole new level.
Well, I would say the last 5 years, the league has done a tremendous job in expanding in the right markets at the right time. And those particular clubs, starting with Toronto, while they've not been good on the field,
right,
their business development from the beginning of coming into MLS was outstanding. Had sold out every game for the first 3 or 4 years, and that was a model that the rest of the expansion clubs followed. First was Seattle, and then you saw the same thing with Portland, Philadelphia, Vancouver, Montreal now. And all of those clubs have developed a really strong supporter environment, very similar to the atmosphere you would find in the big leagues around the world. It's loud, it's raucous, they're singing and dancing and chanting and supporting the team for the entire 90 minutes. And, it's been a tremendous process. It's taken the league from the position of possibly folding to unquestionably being on solid ground, and the discussion has gone from, is this league going to fold, to how far is it going to go? There's a debate among people in this industry here in the U.S. talking about, has MLS passed the NHL? And I think in a few years that won't even be a discussion anymore as far as the relative importance to the sporting culture in the country. And then I think, it continues beyond that. Can you pass Major League Baseball, the NBA? I think it's that solid of a business, and as long as they make the good steps with future expansion, it's only going to get stronger and stronger.
Yeah, and the Impacts were the 19th franchise added this year. In their first game they played in the Olympic Stadium in front of 60,000. I mean, if someone would have told me that 5 years ago that an MLS game would have 60,000 people at a game, I would have laughed. So that's really great to hear. And I wanted to talk to you about, what do you think the significance of these teams like, let's say, Man United and Chelsea, when they come over to America and they do those summer tours where they kind of go around all the big cities, D.C., Houston, New York, L.A., and even also the matches like Brazil-Argentina that was played in New York. Do you think that's helping promote the game in the United States, or what do you think has really been the push? I mean, the teams have been formed, but what's getting the fans to the stadium?
Well, I think it started for a few reasons. First, clubs like Chelsea. Peter Kenyon had moved from Manchester United to Chelsea, and one of the things he saw as an opportunity was building their brand in the United States, and that the United States was a burgeoning soccer market. So you had bigger clubs, and Chelsea at the time was very much a middling club, but clubs from bigger leagues seeing the U.S. as an opportunity. Then here, MLS seeing it as an opportunity twofold. First, threefold. First, raising some revenue, having an event that brings in money to clubs that are struggling. Second, bringing people out to their stadium to see their team play that maybe hadn't come before. And third, it was an opportunity to play at a high level and say, look, MLS is not the English Premier League, but we can compete. It may not be as bad as the detractors are saying. And it was an opportunity to play Mexican clubs, English Premier League clubs, and succeed and have something to talk about instead of just playing within league and arguing that we are getting better and the detractors really not having any evidence otherwise. So it started very successfully with clubs like Chelsea, and it's just, having sat in the managing director's seat with the Red Bulls, every single club of any recognition worldwide was calling us and wanting to come to New York and to play in our stadium. So it has been very popular, modestly successful for most teams, hugely successful for others. But I think now we're getting to the point where MLS teams need to be really careful who they're playing. They're taking ticket revenue out of the market. When, say, PSG is playing AC Milan at Yankee Stadium, there's $1 million, $2 million in ticket sales leaving the New York market that some of it could be going to the Red Bulls. So you do have to be careful. You can't overdo it. A game a year is probably good if it's structured right for MLS teams.
Okay, interesting stuff. Now we have about 2 minutes left, so I want to talk more about you. What do you think your future is? You're now with the Red Bulls. I know you told me you wanted to stay in the soccer industry. Do you have any future plans for the next few years you can tell us about?
Unfortunately, nothing I could tell you about, but it's looking good. This week has actually been very busy for me. I've got 4 things in the hopper right now. Hopefully they're all going to come together at the same time, and I can make an educated decision. It's been a long process. It's frustrating. It can be frustrating when you're dealing with the top positions and convincing and chairman to move decision. But it's been a learning process for me, and as I said, it looks like everything's finally coming together over the next week or two, and I should hopefully have a decision soon.
That's great to hear. We hope you can continue in the soccer industry. It seems like you're good at what you do. Bringing over I mean, that was for me, as being a huge European soccer fan. When I found out that Henry was coming, I said, okay, finally, like a real player is coming out. I love David Beckham, but you heard what I said earlier. But I've had a lot of respect for Henry. That's because I'm a diehard Arsenal fan. I didn't mention that to you earlier. But it was great to see him come to the United States. It's been great to see him play there. I know he's had a lot of injuries, but I know that all my friends in the U.S. that are playing in college or different types of venues, some are actually playing professional. They're very excited to have him in the MLS. And it was really great to have you on, and we'd love to have you on again when you have your next position and talk about what you're doing with your new club.
Sure, I look forward to the opportunity. And thanks for the kind words. You know, a lot of people put a lot of hard effort into building the stadium and bringing Henri over, and for that all to come together, and real passionate football fans from around the world having come to Red Bull Arena. They said just tremendous things about what we were able to accomplish, and hearing it from you is just more reinforcement. I'm sure that, as I said before, the sport is absolutely taking off in this country, and I look forward to seeing where it ends up.
And last question, who you got in the Euros? We have about 2 weeks left. 12 days.
I'm so heartbroken. Not that I'm Dutch, but I always pull for the Dutch, and they really let me down.
Right.
And I have a friend that's Croatian, and he's just so passionate about his team, and they played so well. It was sad to see them go out. So I've lost a lot of my mojo with this tournament, but I guess I'm going to take the cop out and say that it's going to be very hard to beat Germany and Spain, and then wherever they end up in the finals, I see it being those two. I can't see anybody beating them, and then hopefully it's an exciting final. Do
you have a sleeper for us? Maybe a France or an Italy or anyone who might be able to beat them?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess you see the French, the English in any given game could upset one of those teams, but Spain and Germany just look so solid front to back. It just I don't know how anybody beats them.
All
right. Well, we certainly appreciate your time here on Lewis Live, IsraelSportsRadio.com. It's been a lot of fun, and I tell you, we'd love to do it again with you in the future.
All right, thank you. I look forward to it.
All right, be well,
thank you, Eric.
Okay, guys. Bye.
Eric Stover, who's the former director of the New York Red Bulls.
Absolutely.
Of the MLS.
Good stuff there. As I was saying, I don't know if Ari was. I don't know how much Ari knows about Henri. Probably know some about him. Or do you? No?
I've heard of the name.
You've heard of the name. He really the best player in my opinion ever come to the MLS. I know you've heard of David Beckham, Ari.
Of course,
probably for the wrong reasons though. Probably not for a soccer player.
Yeah, no more the Tosh Spice thing.
Right. But Henri's a guy.
Joe Tutino we had on 2 weeks ago.
Absolutely, LA Galaxy, the voice of the Galaxy, and Henri is really one of the best, probably one of the most underrated, because people don't mention when you have the Messis and the Cristiano Ronaldos and Figo and Zinedine Zidane. But this guy is the all-time French national team's leading scorer and the all-time leading scorer for Arsenal, for one of the most respected clubs in the world. So that's a huge thing. He's been over at the Red Bulls for 2 seasons now. Last year there was some good stuff happening there. This year he's been battling a lot of injuries. And interesting stuff there. We are not going to go to commercial, though.
Right, we're going to stay right here?
We are going to stay with Clenari Carter, who...
so Southern correspondent to the United States.
Right, very excited to have him on. I'm going to talk a little bit about the finals, and Ari's going to come in. We're going to do things more together, though. Ari, I don't know if you noticed this, I got some feedback from our listeners last week. A lot of the shows that we did separately. It was a weird week for us last week. I think we can both agree on that.
Right.
But so this week we'll do our normal Ari Rafi. We'll talk together and not do separate interviews, unless it's about soccer, of course.
Yeah, I can't really help out that much there.
Right, but you've learned a lot. I hope you've learned a lot. If you've been listening, Ari, you've learned a lot about the game, and
well, certainly more than I knew before.
Right, exactly. But so we'll start off. Ari will jump in. I'll jump in on him, and it'll be good stuff. Clenari Carter is on the way, our Southern correspondent. Ari will introduce him, and then we'll get right to it. We have him on for really as long as we want right now. We have great guests at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. We have the New York Giants Red Bull at New York Giants offensive coordinator, not Red Bulls, excuse me, Kevin Gilbride, and at 12:30, Charles Swerke, the Chicago Boys.
But right now we have on
Bulls.
the air our Southern correspondent to the United States, Clenari Carter. Clenari, how you doing out there?
Hey, salute, brothers. How y'all doing today?
Good.
Hey, we're doing great.
We missed you. It's been 2 weeks. We know you were taking care of some business for your country in D.C. Then you went to go visit your grandmother in the other side of the country in Washington State. So we missed you. We're happy to have you on. And since you are a Southern correspondent, the Heat are in the finals. They've made it there. They've played well. Ari and I are both pulling for them in 6.
Yeah.
Before we get into it, Clenari, who you got and how many games?
Well, who I got? And so I said who I had was actually if I was looking at one of the other posts I did, and I was actually looking at the Miami Heat. I was looking at like 6-7 games. The reason is because I was thinking that LeBron James will actually turn into the LeBron James that we're seeing now, being able to go on ahead and attack the middle of the paint and being a force out there. And if you notice, Kevin Durant, really his defense is not up to par where it should be to stop physical beasts like LeBron James.
Right. I mean, yeah, and that's something that I've been saying a lot on the show. Of course, I did pick the Pacers. I'm not going to lie, but I am a Heat fan. I am a LeBron fan. I've never hated on him. I've been on his side since day one. I still don't have a problem with the decision. I don't have a problem with the not 2, not 3. So I'm very happy to see him winning. And to be honest, we have a kind of relationship with the Heat in a lot of different ways. We've had on there one of their assistant coaches on our show, who's an amazing guy. Bill Foran, who's their strength and conditioning coach, and our own Doobie Pick is apparently, from what I was talking to Doobie the other day, he has a relationship with LeBron James. He did a blog. He did an interview with him. He did an interview with LeBron. He was the only person in the international media to get an interview with LeBron in the past 12 months. So we're rooting for him as well. And I think LeBron James is the best player in the NBA by far. And Kanari, I want to hear more about tonight's Game 4. It's been a really interesting 3 games, very close games. But the Heat have not been choking in the fourth quarter. They've been putting it all together. I mean, besides, I guess, Game 2, they still outplayed the Thunder all that game. But they've been playing pretty well. So what do you think? What do you think's going on right now?
Well, right now, I think the Miami Heat are actually coming together more as a team, more as a unit than they have throughout the whole entire season.
Right.
They're playing a complete 4 quarters, just like you said. The fourth quarter is not a letdown. There's no ifs, buts, or maybes. They're going and they're attacking the hoop. Wade is doing great. Chris Bosh is back and he's doing good. Chris Bosh has put up double-figure numbers in rebounds the last 2 games, and then he started. So they're actually coming together more as a unit. I want to say what we've seen against Boston and what we've seen against Indiana and what we've seen in previous series this year was more of a team that was able to actually get through on their talent and not necessarily get through on their chemistry. But right now, the chemistry and the talent is playing at such a level where it's going to be very hard for the Thunder to actually come in and steal a Game 4 or actually make it back to Oklahoma City. So right now, Game 4 should be a Game 7 for the Thunder, and it should be approached that way. So,
right, and I think Eric Spoelstra's done a really good job. A lot of the time, people were saying he was going to get fired if they lost to the Celtics and this and that, and he was this and firing and blah blah blah. But he's done a pretty great job, in my opinion, with his team. The guy who's really, I think, been the X factor so far has been Shane Battier. 17 points and 21 points in Game 1 and 2. Played decent in Game 3, not as many points, but made a lot of big shots. He was nowhere in the playoffs. I think he's averaged in the playoffs something like 3 to 6 points before this outburst, and that's what we expected from this Heat team. You have the big 3, and then you do have other guys. You do have other stars. You do have other guys that contribute. So do you agree on that?
Yes, and actually, the thing with the Thunder right now is you cannot have Shane Battier outplaying James Harden. Right now, Shane Battier is outplaying James Harden, and Shane Battier right now is the number 4, and that's his spot, that's his position. He's number 4. So right now, the number 4 player on the Miami Heat is outplaying the number 3 player, and should I say the number 6 man of the NBA right now, James Harden. So until that right there gets figured out, until they can figure out, how to just try to conduce it so that, hey, James Harden and Udonis Haslem and all these other guys are not coming in, adding fuel to the fire that's already burning for the Miami Heat. The Thunder are in big problems. I mean, they're in big trouble right now. So that's an issue. You know, Shane Battier only scored, 9 points? He had 2 3-pointers in the last game. But if you look at those 3-pointers and if you look at those 9 points, they came at points to where it was very crucial. It either turned the tide of the game where Oklahoma City was trying to actually, you know, come in to a lead or cut it down and possibly looking to take a lead. Then all of a sudden Shane Battier would make a key shot or a key play at a very, very crucial moment and turn everything back over. So, you know, he's been great so far.
Yeah, and you're right. When Shane Battier's out playing, you know, James Harden Harden's, you know, part of the big three of Oklahoma City, and Chris Bosh has been playing well, LeBron's been playing well. But something here that I wrote a blog or a article about a couple days ago, Dwayne Wade, something's off. I mean, I don't know. I've been saying on the show, I don't think he's having problems with Gabrielle Union because I'm friends with Gabrielle Union on Facebook, and I haven't seen anything crazy. But if something's off, I mean, he's not playing well. Even if he gets the points he gets, last game he shot 5 for 15 out of his first 15 shots. In the Eastern Conference Finals, in those games 1, 2, and 3, he had a couple of games where he had 7 points, 5 points. And something's different with his attitude. He complains more now. He's not the same guy that we remember from 04 to 08. I'd even say since the last 3-4 years he hasn't been the same type of player. So what do you think is going on? Is he intimidated by LeBron? Is he confused on whether it's his team anymore? Because I just don't understand why he's playing so poorly of late.
Well, you look at Game 3, he did have 25 points, 7 assists, 7 rebounds.
Right.
And he was 8 for 22. Now, I do think that there's a bit of an adjustment, you know. But he's been playing good during the finals. I mean, even in Game 2, 24 points, 5 assists, 6 rebounds, 10 for 20, 50%. Game number 1, I want to say he was 7-19, a little off, but he still had 19 points, 8 assists, and 4 rebounds. Now, what I think is happening is this year, because of his injury, there has been a transition from LeBron James and Dwayne Wade last year kind of sharing the role of Batman or top dog or whatever you may want to call that, to this year where LeBron James is he's the MVP. He's more the leader of the team. He's the younger, more fresher guy. He's the stronger man. And I'm talking about from a physical standpoint. He's stronger, you know. So whenever you look at these attributes and you as the leader of the team, it kind of takes a little bit for you to kind of step back a little bit. So I think he's trying to learn to step back. It's been an adjustment, but over the past week or so versus the Thunder, he's been great. I have no complaints about Dwayne Wade so far during the NBA Finals. During the playoffs, you know, a little shaky here and there. And I think some of that has to do with a slight injury issue that he had. But besides that, Dwayne Wade been pretty awesome.
Right, yeah, and you're right, actually. He has, and maybe that's it, Kanari. He's had a lot of injuries the last 4 years. A lot, it seems like. Just had his knee drained. And at the same time, this guy's not LeBron. He went to college. I think he was there for at least 3 years. Yeah, he was there for 3 years at Marquette. So he's not, I think he's, 30 years old? 30 years old. He's not a young guy. In 06, he was 24 years old, 6 years ago. So he might be getting older. People think that because Kobe, is still playing at his level at his age, that everyone else should be able to. But that's not true. And Dwayne actually had that commercial where he said, fall down 7 times, get up 8. Maybe falling down 7 times has affected his play. What do you think, Ari?
Well, it's funny. It's a Jewish principle, by the way, Fallout 7, get up 8.
Right.
But, yeah, that might have been a personal commercial. Maybe that's perhaps why he made it. Chloe, what do you think? You think that's why he made that commercial?
Yeah, I kind of feel that the way, in general, I haven't really seen that. I'm not going to lie. I haven't seen the commercial that you guys are actually speaking of. Maybe I did, but for some reason it's just it's not very, very vivid in my mind right now. But I know that Dwayne Wade, I like the guy. I just feel like he's going through a transition period. Sometimes transition periods take a little longer than others. He's not playing at the top of his game right now. And, that's perfectly okay because you're playing with the NBA MVP on your team. So if he can go on ahead and take over that second role of, the Scottie Pippen type role or the James Worthy type role, then, hey, go on ahead and my hat's off to him.
Right, and it'll be interesting to see what happens in the finals. Tonight's Game 4, and really if the Heat get this, I don't want to say they'd have to choke to lose, but
up 3-1.
Up 3-1.
Series probably over.
You just gotta win 1 out of 3, 1 at home. Though if you lose I don't know, it's getting ahead, but if you lose that one at home,
then the Thunder have home
court.
Then
the Thunder have home court, and their fans are crazy. It was funny. I was following a lot of Twitter the other night, and a lot of people were saying, yeah, the environment's been crazy in Miami, like really, really crazy, but it's about 2 times as crazy in Oklahoma City with the fans there. Oklahoma City's arena, I think it's called Chesapeake Bay, is kind of like a college arena. That's what the people live for. Oklahoma City's not a big market.
Miami is kind of like the L.A. of the East Coast. I think a lot of people are coming to be seen. A lot of celebrities, a lot of rich people buying their tickets on the floor and not necessarily knowing what's going on.
Yeah, actually, what I like about Oklahoma City, which is, being from Seattle, I really don't like too much. But what I do like about Oklahoma City is their environment. Their fan environment reminds me of the Sacramento Kings back in the day. Sacramento Kings, they had those big cowbells, and if you remember, the fans were very, very, very rapid. And the Miami Heat, they kind of symbolize the Los Angeles Lakers of the East Coast, kind of glam, kind of glitzy a little bit, beautiful, beautiful vacation spot. It's a spot where the Thunder can go and actually kind of get lost as far as, going out and hanging out in nightclubs and doing this and doing that. So, at the Thunder being out there in Miami, they're going to have to actually keep their minds clear, keep their minds fresh, keep their minds on basketball, keep their mind on winning the NBA Finals. But their environments are totally 2 different environments. Oklahoma City has a great environment with their fans.
Yeah, absolutely. And, this is something that I think Oklahoma City fans have been waiting for a long time. 40 miles away from Oklahoma City, of course, is Norman, Oklahoma, for home of the Oklahoma Sooners, and the basketball team there has had some success with Blake Griffin making the Elite Eight, but really the football team is something that all that state lives for. So the fans there have proven that they're big fans if they have something to be fans for, if that makes sense. Does that make sense, Kamari?
Definitely.
Right.
I agree with that. The fans are, when you talk about Oklahoma City fans, you're talking about a group of fans that are used to college type of atmosphere. They're used to the rah-rah. They're used to being loud. They pack out, like you said, Norman, Oklahoma. They pack that place out. So anytime you're dealing with Oklahoma City fans, you're talking about a different type of environment because that's the way their environment has always been. And I think that's a great environment for the NBA. So I like the environment, even though I'm from Seattle. I'll make sure I always say that. But I like the environment.
Clinari, my friend. It is time for you to get over it. They left a long time ago. And you know what? Actually, I was reading the news the other day, and I saw there was a big rally in Seattle in front of your old arena. What is it, Key Arena, to say we want a team back and blah, blah, blah. So, Clinari, though, you do have to get over. This team is the Oklahoma City Thunder, not the Seattle Supersonics Thunder. But I know you're so devastated about it. I know when you watch the games, you think, wow, I could be watching James Harden and Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant be on my team. And I'm sure you would have picked them to win the finals.
He's really digging into you, Clinari.
I'm digging into him. It's because I have love for Clinari.
Actually, to be honest with you, I haven't lived in Seattle in quite some time.
Right.
I just always growing up and remembering those type of, memories and different things like that. Remembering Gary Payton and Sean Kemp. The fact that we had a championship from 1979. And I feel that, the Thunder, great team, great organization, built from top to bottom. They may have did some things that, I may not like, little different things like that. But in the end, I want the Thunder to stay in Oklahoma City. The issue that I think is actually being gathered together is the fact that the Thunder actually share the Sonics history. And that's something that I think that the Thunder's organization has been so great. I mean, over the last 4 years, you're talking about a Western Conference NBA Finals last year, this year, NBA Finals. So you're talking about 4 years and 2 finals appearances, however you may want to look at it. I feel like that should be the Thunder that should be the history of the Oklahoma City Thunder. And the other history should stay in Seattle. The fact that the Sonics name is still owned by the city of Seattle. And when they do bring the team back, it will be called the Sonics. So I feel like, anytime that's brought up, I just feel like it should be 2 different things. I mean, I have no problem with the Thunder in general whatsoever.
Right. No, you're right. They shouldn't be aligned together. And we just wanted to say to our listeners out there, if you can hear some sort of squeaky thing in the background that just started happening recently, we are getting that fixed with our technician tomorrow, right, Ari? We should have that fixed within the next couple days.
Yeah, hopefully the next couple of days we should.
So if anyone can hear that, we've been told that some people don't hear it on all their computers, but we like to get things fixed as soon as possible here at Israel Sports Radio. So just wanted to say that for our listeners out there. And stay with us again at 12 o'clock. Kevin Gilbride, the New York Giants offensive coordinator, at 12:30. Charles Swerke, the Chicago Bulls play-by-play. But we still got our boy Clenari Carter, and I think Ari has some Bobcat news for you,
yeah,
Clenari.
Well, Clenari, we talked about this in the first segment. I mean, the Bobcats could have Patrick Ewing. Instead, they're going to go with relatively unknown.
Oh, wait, Ari, hold on. They could have had Quinn Snyder. They could have had Brian Shaw. And they could have had Jerry Sloan. Don't say Patrick Ewing first, but go on.
Well, why was it that they went with Mike Dunlap, who's he was a St. John's assistant, but outside of that, not really known, even
Nuggets, did some stuff with the Nuggets.
Yeah, did some stuff with the Nuggets, college-wise and stuff with the Wildcats. But why do you think, Clara, you cover that southern region of the United States, why do you think the Bobcats went with Mike Dunlap?
Well, first and foremost, I thought that Brian Shaw would have been a great pick, honestly, for the Bobcats. And that's just my thing. I thought that he would have been a great coach. But picking up Mike Dunlap, he's a great assistant coach from out of St. John's. He's not really have a lot of NBA experience, but he has a connection with his players that goes very, very deep, especially at the college level. And the fact that when you think about the Bobcats, they are a young team. So with those guys being a young team, you're possibly looking for a coach that can come in and actually connect with those players. And I think Dunlap will be able to actually come in and connect with those players and use that system that he has already developed. And those players, I think his influence will actually be great for the locker room and for, they have several young players. I mean, they're just a very, very young team. So I think he will connect very well with the Bobcats.
And, a lot of people who really don't understand the world of recruiting, people have to understand the St. John's team has been money the last 2 years, especially not this college basketball season, but the past. The Storm are ranked in the top 25 all year. They had 4 guys who were, I think, All-Americans, and that was a lot Steve Lavin, but a lot Dunlap. I believe he was there as well. And this past year, they got a couple of good guys. One of them is entering the NBA draft and is projected as a first-round pick. I'm blanking on his name right now, but he's had a pretty good freshman season in the Big East. So this guy can flat out recruit, as Ari mentioned, with the Nuggets, with the Arizona Wildcats under Lute Olson, and also, or not under Lute Olson.
Yeah, it was right.
Right after Lute Olson,
right.
2008. I think that might have been Kevin O'Neal, or when they were going through all that stuff where they didn't know who was the coach. But went with them to an NCAA Sweet 16. Went to the Midwest Regional Final. So, I mean, a very experienced coach. But still, I'm with you, Clenari, 100%. Brian Shaw is a stud. He helped this Pacer team the past season, before that with the Lakers. And before that, of course, a player with the Lakers. And we had Samaki Walker on the show couple weeks ago, I asked him teammates, tell us more about your teammates, and he said that Brian Shaw was a great teammate. Also Quinn Snyder, LA assistant. But MJ made the call, and I guess now it will be our call to criticize them when they start struggling. But as Ari said, he made a great point. Ari, what did you say? How much worse can you get?
Yeah, 759.
Right. If
you can only go up.
Right. If you get 14 wins, again, that's out of 66 games. But let's say you get 15, 20 wins the next year, people will consider you God because, you have.
It's such an amazing improvement. People will say, looks like they made the right decision.
Right. And if they, let's say, win 30 games or 35 games and are coach of the year, and they're it's sad to say, but at this modern time, you can make the Eastern Conference playoffs with a 38-win, 40-win record. So I'm not saying the Bobcats are going to do that, but if they won 20 or 30, that wouldn't surprise me. I mean, they struggled through a lot of injuries. They're going to get a good number 2 player in the draft, and that's where I want to go next, Kanari. We have had a lot of great people on to talk the draft. The draft is on the 28th, which is 9 days from now. Not this Thursday, but next Thursday. We haven't had you on since the draft lottery, so I'm going to let Ari talk to you a little bit about that because Ari had some interesting thoughts on what happened there.
Well, I think the fix was in there. I mean, the Hornets get the number 1 pick, and when the draft occurred, they were still owned by the NBA. David Stern was asked about this at the Jim Rome show. He didn't come out and really deny it so much. He said, shame on you for asking, and then he said, have you beaten your wife, to try to say it's a question he couldn't really answer. We've heard some strange stuff in the lottery. A lot of people think the UE draft of 85 was fixed. 2001, when the number 1 pick went to Michael Jordan's Wizards. Do you think it was a little fishy, Clary, that the new NBA-owned New Orleans Hornets got the number 1 pick?
In some ways, it is kind of fishy. You do have to actually look at it from a real standpoint. And like you said, you're talking about the draft. What was it, 1985?
Yeah.
When, the card was folded.
Sorry, what?
I said 1985 or 1983 when the card was actually folded.
Frozen,
up there,
85 was frozen, right.
Picked the card and it went to the New York Knicks.
Yeah.
Right. Ewing went number 1 overall to the Knicks, the frozen envelope.
Yeah. And if you looked at that video, that was kind of. Hey, he picked the one that was folding. I mean, it was kind of jinky right there. But also, it's business. It's a business game. That's the one thing I always look at. The deeper I get into it, it's a game of business. The NBA is a game of business. The NFL is a game of business. MLB is a game of business. This is a business, So as we're looking at it from analysis standpoint, fans look at it from a fan standpoint, and sometimes our standpoint stand against the standpoint of business. Business says, well, we're going to give the Hornets number 1 pick, and these are the reasons why. I don't have no real issue with that personally because I understand business. But from a standpoint, from an analysis standpoint, I have to definitely question that. And, Stern, he's going to stick to his standpoint of it's not fixed, and he's going to make statements and remarks that, hey, like against Jim Rome, the statement that he made, that was very, very inappropriate in my book. That was just a statement in the words.
Right. Right, and
I never knew Stern to be an inappropriate person, but hey, we have things that come up and we get a little fiery about it, and I think he got a little bit fiery about that.
Right, and yeah, he did, but at the same time, it's a stupid question to ask the NBA commissioner, and I've never liked Jim Rome. I think he's an asshole. I mean, I think there's no other way to put it. He likes to piss people off, and David Stern was definitely right when he was saying you've made a career out of pissing people off. That's why people listen to you, because you're annoying and you piss people off. I mean, pretty sure he was fired from ESPN. He claims that he left, but I don't think that's what happened. I think the ratings for Jim Rome were crap, or Jim Rome is burning or whatever. He's just annoying. I know all my friends who watch all those shows from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m., NFL Live and all that, and PTI. I know, Ari, could you compare PTI Around the Horn to Jim Rome is burning? I mean, even that outside the lines? No. Hell no.
I like Jim Rome.
Okay. I like Jim Rome.
I like Jim Rome's radio show a lot, and he had a TV show before ESPN, which I liked. I wouldn't say it's good as PTI, but
no,
or
Around the Horn. Around the Horn has the best journalists from around the nation, people that are well respected in the journalism industry. And then the Outside the Lines is probably one of the only TV shows on sports that isn't bullshit and it isn't commercial. They focus on stories that most companies and stations don't focus on. That's why I love Outside the Lines. And in fact, last night we had a very exclusive and special interview with Monica Correa, whose story was featured on Outside the Lines. She was raped by 3 men. She's a cross-country runner at SMU, so everyone should check out that interview. On Thursday, we'll be playing that for you live on our show. And but yeah, I don't know. But moving on, Kalari, moving on. Actually, what are your thoughts on Jim Rome before we move on? I made my thoughts. Ari made your thoughts. So what do you think about him as a whole?
I agree with the both of you. I think that he's a very, very, very under your skin type of guy, especially when he makes his comments and his commentaries. Also, I wasn't shocked when I saw Jim Rome was not on ESPN anymore and that he had been actually kicked off and basically fired and moved over or whatever happened with that whole situation. I was not surprised whatsoever. And now he's on, CBS Sports right now?
Yeah, CBS Radio.
He's doing his show. I don't think his show is getting the ratings that it was normally getting off of ESPN whatsoever. And I feel like that is a product of him. I mean, everybody doesn't want to hear all that all the time. So sometimes you want to hear something that has some type of substance to it. And I feel like, sometimes he just out there. Like, wow, where'd that come from?
Right. And
with his statement. So, Jim Rome, I mean, he's obviously in the business still for a reason. So whatever he does, the executives somewhere up top, they like it. And there's a place for it. It's just not in mainstream media as far as, ESPN and, spots like that. That's not a good spot for that. He almost reminds me of watching Fox.
Right.
I'm talking about Fox News sometimes.
Right.
They just kind of go off of the complete topic. Like, hey.
That actually, I think Kanari, combined my thoughts and your thoughts.
Yeah, sorry, when you said you agree with both of us, I was like, how is that possible? But you just showed us how that was possible. That was pretty cool.
Right, and Kanari, we're going to keep you on for 10 more minutes if that's okay with you.
Not a problem, brother. Not a problem, man.
Okay, and so let's stick with this draft. I mean, everyone's saying, "Oh my God, the Bobcats aren't getting Davis. The world is crashing. Bobcats fans should commit suicide." Blah blah blah. But still, there's some solid picks here at number 2. Thomas Robinson, Bradley Beal. There's a lot of guys. In fact, this might be one of the only drafts in the last few years where no one really knows who the number 2 pick. I mean, usually you know who number 1 and number 2 are, even who number 3 are. But this year, from what I'm hearing, from what I'm reading, it's between a few guys, and different people on the Bobcats like different people. Of course, there's so many people in charge of the Bobcats: Richard Cho, Higgins, Michael Jordan. So, what do you think? Who do you think they should take here? They definitely need scoring. I don't think they're a team that needs to worry about defense. They need to score the ball. So who do you think would be a good pick and a solid pick at number 2 for the Bobcats?
Thomas Robinson. I've been saying this, and I've been preaching this for about the past, since about March or February. Thomas Robinson, to me, fits perfectly with the Bobcats. I remember those guys. I remember we had a discussion where we was talking about the Bobcats possibly being the number 1 pick. This is way back in March. And we were talking about Anthony Davis or Thomas Robinson, and I went with Thomas Robinson because Thomas Robinson has more of an offensive presence down low. Now, they already have Bismack Biyombo, so I didn't like the whole Anthony Davis pick. Anthony Davis reminds me of he's better than Bismack Biyombo, but their game is kind of similar as far as defense and blocks and this and that, but no low post presence, or should I say no low post offensive game. And what the Bobcats need is a low post offensive game to complement what they already have. They already have wing players, so I'm not worried about that. They already have a point guard. PJ Augustine is good.
Right.
They don't need a guard right now. What they need is a presence down low that can get points. Not blocks, not all that other stuff. Talking about points and rebounds. And I think Thomas Robinson fits the mold.
Right. I mean, yeah, I agree with you because Klenar, I think you and I went back and forth on this. Anthony Davis is not will not be a scoring threat next year in the NBA. I have no argument saying that to anyone. No
problem saying that to anyone.
No argument, no problem. Yeah, I guess. What's no argument?
I don't know.
Does that not make sense? Grammatical English?
Yeah,
sense?
grammatically doesn't work.
All right. Anyway, no problem saying that to anyone because this guy was a guy in college who sometimes couldn't score. I guess that doesn't mean anything, but still, his style of play is defense. He's still learning how to play the offensive, playing center and power forward until his junior year in high school. His freshman and sophomore years, he was a point guard, so he's only been a big man for 3 years of his whole life. So he has a lot to learn, and he's going to have some good pieces in New Orleans and if they can keep Eric Gordon. Eric Gordon's a stud. I used to play with him back in the day in Indiana, so I know a lot about him. He's a great shooter. I've seen him make like 10 threes in a row with his eyes closed. But, Kanari, do you think there's a chance that Anthony Davis does not go number one? Is it possible?
If I was the owner of the New Orleans Hornets, and I don't know if you know this right here now, but a real quick tidbit. The Hornets organization just revamped.
Right.
The owner of the New Orleans Saints,
Tom Benson,
just went on ahead, made the purchase.
Right.
And he instilled Mickey Loomis and the top organizational brass executives of the New Orleans Saints. Also, they're playing the same positions with the New Orleans Hornets.
Wow.
So I have to actually kind of look at it from a standpoint and say that I could see where Anthony Davis may not be the number one draft pick because of the whole brand new restructuring of that team. And I'm just thinking of the New Orleans Saints and what would they do? What would the top brass of the Saints do when it comes down to having two players, one being more ready for the game and the other one you would have to develop? And from what I remember, the Saints usually go with players that, and I'm saying Saints because it's the same people, it's the same folks as far as the executive heads that are now with the Hornets. So I would have to look at them and say that they would go with more of a polished type player. So that kind of switches up the game a little bit, and that's just my opinion.
Right, and it'll be interesting to see what happens there. And could you give if the Bobcats, Kanari, don't go with your pick of Thomas Robinson, who do you see being a guy that they might go with instead?
Well, there's a couple of them. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist out of Kentucky. Great young man. Bradley Beal of Florida. Andre Drummond of UConn. Like you said, this is a draft pick where you do not know who the number 2 is. Also, it could be a draft pick where you may not know who the number 1 is. The consensus for number 1 is Anthony Davis. But after that, Thomas Robinson, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, Bradley Beal, and Andre Drummond. I mean, you're talking about a whole slew of players that can take the number 2 position and possibly develop and contribute almost right away. And when I say right away, I'm not talking about they're going to put up 20 points, but they're guys that can go in and put up possibly 10, 12 points a game, a night, as they develop as an NBA player. So, from out of those 4, Thomas Robinson, like I said, Kidd-Gilchrist, Bradley Beal, Andre Drummond from out of UConn, I think those would be pretty good picks right there. Now, anything below that or anything other than that, then that's anybody else's guess. I'm not sure. I wouldn't go beyond those 4 players right there.
Right, and yeah, I like Kidd-Gilchrist out of Kentucky. He had a breakout year. He kind of had the year Terrence Jones had, and who knows if Terrence Jones would have gone out after his freshman year, he probably would have been a top 5 pick. Now I've seen him on mock drafts at 18, so it'll be very interesting to see what happens there. And Klenar, you are a Southern correspondent. We do have 4 minutes, and we did have a great 40-minute basketball segment with you, but we have 4 minutes left. So I'm going to let Ari talk some Braves with you. This team's been playing crazy. First they lose a lot in a row, then they win, then they lose. Meanwhile, they're still only 4.5 out and the Braves 35-32. They've been in the news for the wrong reasons. A-Rod had that grand slam against them, but at the same time, still have a lot of firepower with Dan Uggla, Michael Bourne. But here's Ari to kind of talk more about this Braves team and what's been going on with them lately.
Actually, before I want to go to the Braves, I mean, what's going on with the Mets is weird. First of all, they're right above your Braves, a half a game, but their plus-minus in runs is -3, while the Braves are at +16.
Right.
So I don't know how exactly the Mets are getting it done. And then they have a 37-year-old
Dickey,
who gets 2 one-hitters in a row, and he could win the Cy Young. He is first in the 3 main pitching categories. So as a Braves fan, what are your thoughts about Dickey and what he's been doing at 37 years old?
Well, since I cover Southern sports, I wouldn't necessarily say Braves fan. Because it's Southern sports, I got to make sure I take the fan out of it a little bit.
Right.
But when I look at when I look at the New York Mets, I look at 2 different things. Johan Santana's been just threw a no-hitter. You're talking about Dickey, who just comes out and he produces every single day that he gets out there on that baseball diamond. He has 11 wins right now, and he's pitching his mind out.
Right.
Yesterday, I believe he had, 13 strikeouts?
Yeah.
The guy, or should I say 13 Ks? The guy has been tremendous, and that's what I like about the Mets, and that's how the Mets are getting it done, because their ratio was a little bit worse than -3 not too long ago. So they kind of actually brought that down a little bit. You know, sometimes you can get off to a bad start. And I feel like, hey, their start has been, it's been bad. They're giving up runs, and they shouldn't have given up runs. Their offense is not that potent, but that pitching staff is tremendous, and that's what I like about them. And Ari Dickey, I take my hats off to him.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Again, okay.
And Johan Santana with the no-hitter this year.
Yeah, I mean, the Mets pitching, when you see a stat that they have a negative run support, there's got to be some type of good pitching or magic keeping in the games because they have to do a lot of chess moves. I don't know if they're getting a lot of offense stats, but we brought this up. I asked this, Clary. You think maybe Dickey's cheating a tad?
Steroids.
37 years old.
37.
Weird. He's having a career year.
He's throwing the knuckleball, though. He's a knuckleballer. I don't know if he's always done that his whole career, because if he has, then the question would be, why didn't the knuckleball work before, and why is it suddenly working now? But then another question would be, how would steroids help with a knuckleball? So a lot of questions were just posed for you, Kanari, so please answer them.
Yeah, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts on Ari, it is kind of weird. Like you said, he's 37 years old? And
yeah,
this is the most wins that he's ever had. He just tied 11 wins all the way up to this point. 11 wins was the best season he's ever had. All of a sudden come, June 19th of 2012, he's already there. He's already at that point. So I want to say that knuckleball has been great. Matter of fact, I'm looking at a picture of him right now, and what I'm looking at is him with a knuckleball. and the man, he's just good. I mean, that was his second straight one-hitter last night. So I don't know where he's finding this at. I don't know how you become a late bloomer at the age of 37, but he is the flame. Or should I say he's bumping the trend very, very well right now.
Absolutely. And we'll certainly keep an eye on all that. Chloe, we actually have to run. We certainly appreciate your time here on Louis Live at IsraelSportsRadio.com. But before we let you go, give us a plug for where people can find out more about your work.
Well, you can find out more about my work is follow me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter. Matter of fact, follow me on Twitter at jmcsportsbook.com. A lot of the stuff that we just talked about today, especially about the Sonics and the Thunder and the NBA Finals, I just got them making a couple posts about that. So I do have an article that is up. And that article is up on JMC Sportsbook at blogspot.com. And that's JMC Sportsbook, blogspot.com. So go on ahead, reach out to me. The best way to also find me is just to simply listen to Israel Sports Radio, listen to Ari, listen to Raphael. The guys are awesome. They're great. 2 of the best in business. And I appreciate coming on every week and being able to be a part of this. So I definitely appreciate the both of you.
Absolutely. We appreciate you too, Clenari, and it's good to have you back. Like I told our listeners, they probably noticed, our loyal listeners, you were gone 2 weeks doing a lot of important stuff in D.C. For your country, and then, of course, visiting your family in Washington State. It's kind of, I don't think I've ever said that. Someone was in D.C. and then they went straight to Washington State, so that's kind of a cool thing to say. But, Clenari, it's been great. Stay with us. We have a great show. Kevin Gilbride from the Giants, if you want to check it out, and Charles Swerke from the Bulls. We're going to talk a lot of Derrick Rose, so we hope you get to tune in, Clenari, if you get a chance. If not, we will speak with you next week. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. See you later, Clenari. All right, so that was Clenari Carter, the U.S. Southern correspondent. Great stuff there. We have a lot of great correspondents, Jim Williams and Ari Bluestein. And right now, Ari is going to daven mincha.
That's right.
Because it's time for that in Israel. For our non-Jewish listeners, that means he's going to do the
afternoon prayer.
Afternoon prayer, which I believe I think you're only allowed to do it until, 7 or until 6. Then you have to do Alavit. But I don't know. Just some Jewish knowledge here at Israel Sports Radio. I'm sure Ari knows that stuff way better than me. How does it work, Ari? When are you not allowed to do mincha anymore?
Till the sun is setting.
All right, so that's like 8, I think. So you better go do that because it is 6:47. Yeah. And Ari will do that. On the other line will be me for Euro 12 coverage. And then at 12:05, 7:05 local time, Kevin Gilbride from the New York Giants. And then at 12:30 and 7:30 local time, Charles Swerke from the Chicago Bulls. And it's going to be a great show. We hope we can reach both of them. Charles Swerke's confirmed. The Giants offensive coordinator, you never know if they had a last-minute practice or a meeting. We hope everything's set. It should be. We spoke with him on the phone. He was very kind. I was very excited to have him on. Ari's going to do most of that segment. I'm going to come in and ask a few questions. But we're going to commercial now on the other side. Me, Euro 12 coverage. Tonight's the final night before we start knockout stages. So we're going to recap everything before the knockout stages. Stay with us. We'll be back. Commercial.
This is Lewis Live on IsraelSportsRadio.com.
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Body and Soul Gym in the heart of Talpiot. Great machines, excellent staff, and wonderful classes such as Pilates, yoga, and kickboxing. Give them a call at 02-678-8861. Once again, that's 02-678-8861. www.body-soul.co.il. Once again, that's www.body-soul.co.il. That's Body and Soul in the heart of Talpiot, which is great for your body and your soul.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed frequent flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamics specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Shutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Harry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Are you
All right, back on Lewis Live on Israel Sports Radio. Raphael here with you. Ari's doing mincha prayer and outside of the studio. And he will be back probably soon. But until then, Euro recap. We have about 10 minutes before we call our next guest, before we go to commercial. And we're very excited to have on our next hour, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. in the United States, in Israel, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. in other parts of the world, different times. But until then, let's talk some Euro soccer tonight. There are a lot of exciting games. England and France will be playing. Very exciting Euro so far, especially last night. There's a huge chance that Spain could get eliminated if Croatia beat them, because Italy won, and then they'd advance on points. But very interesting to see Spain not particularly play that exciting last night. Not really sure what was going on there. I think a few injury bugs. And, of course, big news tonight is Wayne Rooney will be returning to the English side, something that they've definitely been missing, though. They have played well with guys like Theo Walcott and Welbeck, very, very young guys. Well, Walcott, no, but Welbeck and Alex Chamberlain from Arsenal, very, very young guys who have been contributing to this team. And I might add, I've been saying this, I kind of want to do a segment about this, but we don't have time. But the British Africans, or the black people for the British team, have been doing great. And if you say, "Wow, Rafi, why are you saying that on the radio?" I'll tell you why. Because Poland and Ukraine are one of the most racist countries in the world towards black people. And as a person who's lived in Africa, has a lot of black friends. My father's friends with a lot of black people, and I mean it's great to see that they're doing so well, and they're kind of throwing it in all these stupid fans' faces who are making all these comments about it and all that. It's great to see them be so successful. When Theo Walcott came on the field on the last match in the 60th minute, he just completely turned the match around. They were able to beat Sweden, and it was very, very exciting. Meanwhile, so the English have 4 points, and we're trying to find some standings here for you, but the English have 4 points. I believe the British also have 4 points, but we'll confirm that. Or the French, I mean, have 4 points. The French beat I think they beat Ukraine. I think the French are playing Sweden tonight, and England's playing Ukraine. I believe that's what it is, but we'll confirm that. And it's going to be a very exciting night, too, because the whole tournament has just been really, I don't know, the whole tournament has just been really amazing, because the last day they make all the matches on at the same time so that you're able to see if a team's going to advance, what's going to happen exactly. And, tonight England will be playing Ukraine, and Sweden will be playing France. And just to give you the points right now, Ukraine is in the hunt, guys. Ukraine has 3 points, of course, because they got that huge win against, I believe it was Sweden. Yes, it was Sweden. Sweden's out, so Sweden's just playing for pride now. But what's going to happen here is if France gets a point, they will have 5 points. And if Ukraine, pretty much the match to watch is Ukraine-England. Because if Ukraine can win, they're in. If England can tie, they might be in. It depends on what happens. But this Ukraine-England match is huge. The France-Sweden match is just more, France needs to get some points so that they can move on. But the Ukraine-England is, we got to win, we got to tie, we got to be aggressive. We want to move on. And it'll be really great if Ukraine can advance. Of course, it's being held in Ukraine and in Poland. And the great story of Andrei Shevchenko, he's played for Chelsea and Milan. He in 2004 won the Footballer of the Year award. And that's a long time ago, folks. That's, 8 years ago that he won it. So this guy's not a young guy. He's 35 years old. So 20, in his 24, 25, 26, 28 when he won the last Football World Player of the Year award, which at the time you had guys like Ronaldinho and all these other guys who were playing at a very high level. Figo was kind of towards the end of his career, but still one of the top footballers in the world. Even David Beckham was very good back then. Ryan Giggs and all those guys. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens tonight. But looking at some other matches, the German national team will be playing Greece. That should be a very exciting match. just because Germany is a very, 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 very good. Germany is a very good scoring team, and the Greece team is a very, very, very good defending team. That's why they won the 2004 Euro. They were able to be so successful on defensive end, play well as a team, and so we'll see what happens there. Then the first knockout stage, we're going to take a break tomorrow night and come back on Thursday for the knockout stage. It's a very exciting game between Portugal, Czech Republic. I was going to get to Portugal, and Portugal, Cristiano Ronaldo had a monster game against Netherlands. 2 goals, 2 great goals, great passes, great play by the Portuguese national team, which features him, Nene, and a lot of other great players. Czech Republic, of course, has a lot of great players from around the league and around the world, but their main star that people recognize is Peter Cech, the goalie from Chelsea, who just extended his contract by 4 years at Chelsea. Then Friday night, Greece against Germany. Like I said, very, very, very interesting match. Will depend really on how aggressive Germany can be, and if Greece can hold the line and get lucky really on offense. We'll see what happens there. Germany has a solid offense. On Saturday, we're still waiting to see what happens. The winner of Group C and the runner-up of Group D. Same with on Sunday, the winner of Group D and the runner-up of Group C. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens there. I mean, a lot of great teams. What can be said is that Spain and Germany are definitely the favorites at this point. Some sleeper teams are Italy, in my opinion, and France. And when you call them sleeper teams, that's pretty ridiculous considering they're powerhouses, and they've accomplished so much in the last 12, 15 years of France winning, of course, World Cup 98 and Italy winning the World Cup in 06 and being very competitive. I believe in the Euro in 08, they lost in penalty kicks to Spain. I think that could be wrong. I'm pretty sure that's right, though. And so those are my sleepers, which is kind of sad. But I'll say this. If Ukraine can pull off a huge win against England tonight, they could be a nice story here. 6 points in their group. Beating not the best English team in the world, but a solid English team, advancing, getting to the knockout stages, maybe not having to play. They might have to play Spain, which is bad news bears for them. But if they get away with not having to play Spain, this could be big. They could advance maybe to the next level. That would be very interesting. I believe that would be the Final Four, which Ari, I don't know if Ari doesn't know that much about soccer. We know that, but Ari, just hearing Ukraine in the Final Four when we have the teams like France, Germany, I mean, what does that mean to you? Just to get a perspective from someone who's not the biggest fan of soccer, what would you feel like if you were reading the headlines and you see Ukraine in the Final Four along with Germany, Spain, and Italy?
I mean, like they don't belong there.
Exactly, and that's coming from a person that doesn't follow soccer. Yeah. It doesn't really, understand the game. So that's good to see that. Again, England too can make some noise. A very interesting team. A lot of injuries, as we mentioned earlier in the segment. That Wayne Rooney will be returning, and this will be very interesting to see how he plays. Frank Ribéry needs a big match here for his French team. He's played well, but he needs to score some goals. And we'll see what happens. Again, I mean, we could go into so much more detail. It's hard to compress the whole Euro in 9 minutes, but I did it. And tonight, let me repeat for everyone, tonight is Tuesday, June 19th. Tuesday, June 19th. Right, Ari?
Yes. 19th.
Yes. Okay, on ESPN, they have all their matches wrong. Anyway, or no, they don't. Excuse me. But Tuesday, June 19th at 9:45 local time, 2:45 Eastern time, and wherever are you else in the world, England against Ukraine. The same time, Sweden against France. I believe the match in Ukraine will be held in Ukraine. So a lot of support from the home crowd. And Ari, what do you think the support from the home crowd will bring to this Ukrainian team? Obviously, the underdog in this match. You think they will help them get more spirit? I mean, as a sports guy who's worked as a play-by-play guy in different arenas with home and away.
That's why they call it home field advantage, of course. Of course,
right. And, of course, France, Sweden. Sweden's out, as I mentioned, so playing for pride. Also, they're playing for spoiler. If Sweden can beat France, Actually, if Sweden could beat France, let's see what would happen here. Sweden could beat France. France would still have 4 points and could still advance, actually, if Ukraine Actually, France is pretty set. France could lose this match, but they'd rather not. They'd rather not, take their chances to see what happens down the road. But that's our Euro segment. Great stuff. It was 10 minutes. So tune into the games tonight. For guys to look out for on England, look out for Theo Walcott from Arsenal and Wayne Rooney from Manchester United. From Ukraine, Andrei Shevchenko, who plays for Dynamo Kiev right now. On Sweden, always look out for Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Lars. He's a great player. France, look out for Franck Ribéry, Benzema, a lot of great players on the national team. Samir Nasri, who not the biggest fan because he left Arsenal, but look out for those guys. Great matches. That's it. We're going to try and figure out all this business right here. We should have Kevin Gilbride on next. If not, we will have Charles Swerke on as his replacement. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Either way with a great guest.
Either the play-by-play guy from the Bulls or the New York Giants. What's the coordinator? We'll be back in about a minute, so stay with us.
You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Body and Soul Gym in the heart of Talpiot. Great machines, excellent staff, and wonderful classes such as Pilates, yoga, and kickboxing. Give them a call at 02-678-8861. Once again, that's 02-678-8861. www.body-soul.co.il. Once again, that's www.body-soul.co.il. That's Body and Soul in the heart of Talpiot, which is great for your body and your soul.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed frequent flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports.
Okay, back here on Lewis Live on IsraelSportsRadio.com. We're going to dial up our next guest. This is a very big honor, so we're very excited to have him on.
Kevin Gilbride. We hope we can get in touch with him. If not, we'll be calling Charles Swerke, and we'll get in touch with Kevin and see what's going on. But we're dialing him up right now.
Yes. So we're waiting, and this is going to be great stuff either way. Thank you for everyone for staying with us here on Lewis Live on IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Please leave me a message. Turn your call in.
Okay, let's try one more time.
I think we will try another number for Coach Gilbride.
Okay.
And see if we can reach him on that one.
Right. I want to remind everyone, by the way, this time to check out our store by clicking on the store tab on IsraelSportsRadio.com. Great gifts, great items there. Hats, T-shirts, candlesticks, books, much more great items, great gifts. So check that out on the website again by clicking on the store tab of IsraelSportsRadio.com. And, okay, we're getting set and ready to go. And so, again, we'll be touched with a great guest in just one moment. So, thank you again for listening to us here on Lewis Live at IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Hi, you've reached the desk of Kevin Gill.
Okay, we're going to actually try to get in touch with the play-by-play man for the Chicago Bulls and get Coach Gilbride a little later.
Yeah, we'll see if we can reach him after our segment with Charles Swerke. Or I think, is it Swerse?
Yes, Charles Swertsky. And again, this is Lewis Live on NewsSportsRadio.com. Hello, am I speaking with Charles?
Yes.
Hi, Charles. This is Ari Lewis with Lewis Live on Israel Sports Radio. How you doing out there?
Good, thank you.
It's a pleasure to have on now the play-by-play man for the Chicago Bulls, and want to introduce you to my partner and co-host, Raphael Gellar. Raphael, introduce yourself, please.
Hi, Charles. Thank you so much for joining us. We know you're a very busy day, and we're very happy to have you on.
Thank you.
And we want to talk about everything Bulls, but I got to tell you, my family's Canadian, big Raptor fan, so I want to say that I know a lot of my family listened to you while you were with the Toronto Raptors, and you did a great job. But when I was telling my family you would be on, they told me to say that they miss you in Toronto, and they'd like to have you back.
Well, thank you. We had a great time in Canada. Loved it just like I love calling the play-by-play for the Chicago Bulls. Both are great organizations and owned by great men. Jerry Reinsdorf with the Chicago Bulls is a fantastic human being, and Larry Tannenbaum of the Toronto Raptors is just exquisite.
Right, absolutely, and I had to say that before we got into everything. And the last 3 years have been very interesting for the Bulls. If you look at it, for a long time, where they were this team that couldn't get over the hump, the young Bulls, when they had Ben Gordon and all those guys, Luol Deng when he was younger, the team that was always very talented but seemed to always just peak as a 4 seed. Then, of course, drafted Derrick Rose and everything changed. I wanted to ask you, do you think it was Derrick Rose that, took away the Young Bulls title? They got rid of Ben Gordon via free agency, and he hasn't really done much with the Pistons, to be honest. But what do you think changed the whole vibe in the organization and put them, as these contenders every year now to be expected to make the finals or be expected to be a 1, 2, or 3 seed?
Well, I mean, if I understand the question or the statement, I mean, Ben Gordon was a tremendous player coming off the bench.
Right.
Instant offense. I think that his loss. Anytime you lose a player that he averaged 20 points a game as last year with the Bulls, and 20 points per game in the NBA, not a lot of players are capable of doing that, and he was. He has not been the same player with Detroit, probably because of the talent around him. He had a lot of talent here in Chicago that was developing. Derrick Rose is, as you know, he was hurt in the playoffs, and hopefully we'll see him sometime next year. I know he's going to do a tremendous job of the rehab, but, I mean, when healthy, Derrick Rose is one of the elite players in the league, obviously the MVP.
Right, and no disrespect to, I wasn't trying to come out as a Ben Gordon hater. He's a great player, but maybe more of his struggles with the Pistons have been the struggles of the team, because they spent a lot of money to get a lot of key free agents, him, Charlie Villanueva, and it just hasn't really panned out well. But the Pistons are a very good organization. They will bounce back. They used to be the organization of the Eastern Conference all those years with Rip. And that's why I wanted to talk to you next. Rip Hamilton joined the Bulls this year, struggled with the injuries. Did you think this year was really just kind of an injury year for the Bulls? Just that's really what brought him down, and taking out the whole Derrick Rose thing. Besides that, even with let's say Derrick Rose could have played, but during the regular season they just struggled with injuries with Rose, and it went on and on. But I wanted to get your thoughts about that, because of course you did the play-by-play for their games every night.
Okay, and then if we have time for one more question, I just got called into a meeting, so I apologize.
No problem.
But the thing with this season, and you're right, I mean, injuries took a toll. And here we are talking about a team that won, a tremendous amount of games at 51 in the regular season, and you go, wow, I mean, this was unbelievable. But, Rip Hamilton wasn't healthy the whole year. Noah was banged up. Deng was banged up. Rose, of course. I mean, you could go down our entire team with the exception of Boozer, really. But, it was just one of those years that unfortunately in the playoffs, Rose went down with less than 2 minutes to go in Game 1 with that torn ACL, and then Noah hurt and rolled his ankle. In fact, he's still not 100%, and he hurt himself in Game 3 of the Philadelphia series. So, they say injuries are a part of the game, but had we been healthy, there's no question in my mind we'd be playing right now in the finals.
Wow, bold statement there. I definitely have an argument and case for that. And again, we were speaking to someone from ESPN Chicago last night. I said I want to see Derrick Rose healthy next season, really see a full Bulls team versus a full Heat team and see what happens. A last question before we let you go. There are some rumors we're hearing that Paul Gasol might go to the Bulls.
Ryan, I believe that Taj Gibson would be part of that deal, maybe Boozer, but sorry, go ahead, Ari.
So what are your thoughts about the reality and likeliness of that situation?
Well, here's my take on trade rumors. You have to put the filters up with trade rumors. Some trade rumors are started by agents. Some trade rumors, guys get together and say, "Hey, wouldn't this trade make sense if we shop this player for that player through the media?" All of a sudden, these inside sources. Who are these inside sources? When's the last time you saw a quote-unquote inside source, his name revealed or her name revealed? You don't. And I can tell you, and keep my word on this. I want you to save all these trade rumors that are popping up now about players going here, going there, where Rudy Gay's going, where Andre Iguodala's going, all these players, and then you talk to me on opening night of the season and tell me whether or not it came to fruition. I guarantee you, most of the time, this is just smoke. And because agents want to get their client's name out there if they're unhappy, or someone tells someone, or, hey, I heard, and you know what? It drives me bananas regarding trade rumors.
Right. Well, yeah, very well said there.
Absolutely.
Most people like to give their thoughts on whether the trade would work or not, et cetera. So we appreciate getting that perspective from you. And as you said, unfortunately, you have to run for a meeting. But we do thank you for your time. And we'd love to have you on for longer so we can go more deep and examine your Bull squad.
Absolutely. I'd love to help you out.
All right, we'll be in touch. Thank you very much.
Be well there.
Thank you.
All right, that was
Charles Swirsky from
the Chicago Bulls.
Chicago Bulls. And we're going to take a commercial and try and figure out what's going to happen here. But stay with us on Lewis Live.
Yes, this is Lewis Live on IsraelSportsRadio.com.
You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Body and Soul Gym in the heart of Talpiot. Great machines, excellent staff, and wonderful classes such as Pilates, yoga, and kickboxing. Give them a call at 02-678-8861. Once again, that's 02-678-8861. www.body-soul.co.il. Once again, that's www.body-soul.co.il. That's Body and Soul in the heart of Talpiot, which is great for your body and your soul.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed Frequent Flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamics specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Shutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Harry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Are you tired of paying for expensive gym memberships that you don't use? Are you frustrated by not seeing results? It's time for the X1. Israel Gym Systems is proud to launch the X1 suspension and bodyweight training system. Lose weight, build muscle, improve balance, coordination, and flexibility. With your purchase of the X1, you'll receive a free membership to IsraelGym.com and access to our archives of videos and exercise plans. Sign up today at www.israelgym.com and get ready for the new you. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
DJ Venom. DJ Venom. DJ Venom. DJing parties throughout Israel. Birthday parties, weddings, club events, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, and much more. You pick the type of music and DJ Venom will turn your event into the party of the year. Available Sunday through Thursday. Call 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. That's 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. Book your party today. That's DJ Venom.
Broadcasting live from Israel.
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Back here on Lewis Live for our final segment. We're going to try a guest one more time, very special guest, and hopefully he is able to pick up. He's very busy man.
Right, very busy man. A lot of stuff's going on with the Giants. We were warned that this could happen. This happens to a lot of our guests, that they say they are not sure if they'll get called into a meeting or anything. And we have two numbers for him that we're going to try him on, and we'll see if we can get a hold of him. If not, Ari and I will talk until the 7:30 time, and then we will conclude the show for today.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you again for listening to Lewis Live here at IsraelSportsRadio.com. And once again, check out our store on the store tab.
I was going to say, we've had a great show today.
Yes, yes, indeed. And at the end of the program, we'll get an announcement for tomorrow's guest.
Leave me a message.
Okay. You said we had another number for him?
Yeah, we have another number for him. And so, yeah, we want to tell our listeners out there who listen to us every day that we're working very hard on kind of moving on to a new level. We're trying to get our show broadcast on a major station in the United States. So that's something we've been working very hard on for the past, you could say, 6 months. So we're going to keep you guys updated on that. We're talking to a lot of people, working on a lot of different things behind the scenes, and we hope that it will come true. Right, Ari?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We don't just hope, we do expect it to occur.
Right.
Just a matter of time. And I'm looking forward to that. Okay, we're going to try this number here. We have another number for Coach Gilbert.
This is his office.
Yes, so we're going to get in touch with him.
Let it ring so we can, maybe that'll give us some karma.
Can hear it, of course.
Sorry.
All right, so Kevin Gilbride, we were not able to get a hold of him. We'll email him
and
later.
Get him on another program.
We'll get him on.
Folks.
But we have had a great program so far. We started off at 5 with
talk about the news and everything.
Talk about the news. We did a PTI segment. Then at 5:30 we had Eric Stover from the Red Bulls. Then at 11 we had Clenari Carter for a while, U.S. Southern correspondent. And then we ended the show with a short but sweet segment with the play-by-play guy for the Chicago Bulls, Charles Swirsky. And yeah, we have a lot of great shows the next few weeks. I'll be taking the 2 next shows off, so you're going to be joined tomorrow most likely by Aaron, who's done a couple shows, and then on Thursday by Moshe the intern. So should be good stuff. Ari will be with you, though. We'll be here to hear his voice. I'll be back next Tuesday. And it was fun doing the show with you, Ari. I'll listen to it at home while I rest. I'm having some health issues for our listeners out there. So any positive thoughts sent towards me would be well appreciated at this time.
Yeah.
Because I need it very badly.
You can email IsraelSportsRadio@yahoo.com, send Rafi best wishes and well wishes. I'll be able to pass that on to him. And, by the way, did you see Hebrew Nationals being sued, saying they're not kosher?
Right. Yeah, I have a lot of very Orthodox friends who have been battling with me about this for years, especially my former roommate, Alex Groisman. If you're listening out there,
Call
buddy.
it out, Alex. Because they won't eat it.
We had a very, very strict kosher house last year, and he would always yell at me if I ate it. Sorry, and I did. And he always would tell me that it's only Circle K and Circle K or Triangle K. Triangle. Yeah. Circle K is fine and the U is fine, but Triangle K is not good and this and that. So no. All right, to answer your question, I'm not surprised. But
the Hebrew National is suing for not being called kosher. Is that what it is?
I think so, but because they're tired. A lot of people now won't eat them because they're not. Apparently, I don't know. I think it's pretty ridiculous, but we'll see what happens. We did have some breaking news into the room.
By the way, that's sports related because people eat hot dogs at baseball games.
At Mets games, right? At every game. But in breaking news, a lot of crazy stuff going on right now at the Jerry Sandusky trial. Ari, if you could just head over to ESPN so we could... Well,
by the way, one of the craziest things about this trial, it's interesting because we had on Monica yesterday, and she came out against her attackers, and I mentioned on the interview that 73% of rape victims don't come out and report the crime. And after the Sandusky, the victim came forward, more victims came forward.
Right, that's how it works. And now police are trying to get the accusers to give some more details. And the biggest thing going on right now is to get Jerry Sandusky on the trial stand. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. Just, sometimes America's laws are so well protected that the attorneys will figure out a way for it not to happen. And, of course, if it does, there's a trillion billion media members at that court right now. I think there's over 200 media members. The trial's been going on. This is probably going to be the biggest trial now that the Clemens trial is finite. In fact, we will be having on a very, very special guest who works for Sports Illustrated, ESPN. I mean, the list goes on. We're going to have him on, I think, next week or in the next couple of weeks. He is an attorney specialist to all the sports networks and works with them. Michael McCann, I believe is his name. We got in contact with him. We're going to have him on, so we're excited about that. I don't think I've even told Ari that, so Ari, now you know.
Time I heard about it.
And we'll see what happens there. But an interesting thing is a lot of former Sandusky players are being called up who are now in the NFL because a lot of, Penn State defense was the best, if not, the best defensive team in the country for a long time. Under Sandusky, take away everything that he might be in charge of. He was a hell of a coach. And, if what's true is true, I have zero Rahmanis. I'll use that word on him. And he deserves everything he gets. But now there's also... this thing is getting crazier and crazier. Do you see this? There is now a question that Jerry Sandusky might have historic personality disorder. This sounds to me as if they're starting now to make excuses for the... Exactly.
Not historic. Histrionic. I still don't know what that means. I don't know what historic meant either.
Right. It means... let me tell you what it means. It means in bullshit that they're now trying to come up with ways that they're going to say that he has a side that molests boys. That's his personality. It's disgusting. And actually, I'll say I think he's 100% guilty. I think it's silly to say.
Well, you saw that interview he did with Bob Costas.
Right. This is, he said he likes, I never touched the boys, but I did like showering with them and being physical with them and touching them. This guy needs to be put away now. Like, this trial is finished. There's something like 80 counts of sexual assault and rape, and
51 criminal counts to 10 victims over 15 years.
Right, including very graphic things that we won't say on radio. But
I still don't get. I talked about this. We talked about this case in Lewis Live back in the OCG era.
The OCG era, I like that.
It's like, dude, you're an assistant coach of one of the top college football programs in the entire country. You could get adult women. You know what I mean?
Right. He has. Yeah, he has I get what you're saying. Whatever. That's another issue about, if you also notice, it's only boys, never girls. That could I mean, this happens a lot, though, Ari, with a lot of well-known rabbis and a lot of priests. This has happened a lot in the last, especially if you remember the Cardinal scandal in Boston. It was only boys. Same with some rabbis in the last few years. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But, yeah, good point, Ari. I mean, you see guys who are not the best-looking guys in Europe get supermodel wives, and it's because they're soccer players. I'm sorry, guys. It's not your personality. I mean, it's not. Let's be honest. And we'll see what happens. 15-year span that this has been going on for, even up to 2009, and he retired in 2000. So he still would bring his little guys to stadiums and then assault them or do whatever he did. And this guy just needs to go. The fact that his wife is saying this now, I like to find on paper someone say that he has had histrionic personal disorder. I think that's bullshit that they're trying to use to help maybe get him off and maybe have him be in an insane home, which really won't be an insane home. It'll be a nice, if anyone watches 24, if there's any 24 loyal fans out there, after President, not Palmer, I'm trying to think of his name. No, this is important. The president his name is Gregory Itzkin, and in real life, my parents were listening right now. They'd scream the name to me because they're diehard loyal fans. But my point is, in season 4 and 5, he killed off President Palmer. He killed Michelle. We thought we killed Tony Almeida. But the point I'm getting to, if you're wondering, is that for all the stuff he did, he only got he got to live on a 1,000-acre ranch. And he got to live a fine life, where if he was anyone else, he would have been hung, for sure.
Yeah, a lot of those criminals, when they get to a high level, even when they're found guilty, they still live pretty good. They live better than most people. I mean, O.J., for example, even after he lost the civil case, was given a pension of $30,000 a month. Because what happened was they had to take his money, they kind of froze his assets to pay for the damages, but they can't take everything in California. So yeah, I mean, famous. There was a movie called Airheads, where they brought this point. Celebrities don't go to jail, famous people don't go to jail. And Sandusky not exactly a celebrity, but because he had such a high position at the university, hopefully he doesn't get out of this, but he may get out of it in some way by this whole histrionic personality disorder.
And Ari, just some news into the room. Unfortunately, a lot of rocket fire from Gaza today, and we are Israel Sports Radio, and it's important to report the news. Things are not looking good right now in the south. Of course, there was a lot of stuff going on in the South, and I mean, this is really sad to report, but I think there's been something such as looking at this over 20, 30 rockets in the past 4 hours. So there's going to be a response from the IAF, the Israeli Air Force. Things are not looking good. Things appear to be heating up. We're looking at some stats coming in here. Gaza rocket hit to south at 6:33. 5 more rockets hit at 6:40. Another rocket hits at 6:54. Luckily, it's been quiet since then. Not looking good. Something's going on, and this isn't a news program, but for the first time in months, if not years, Hamas has fired rockets. I mean, the big deal the last few years has been that Hamas hasn't fired any rockets. They've kind of let their proxies, such as Islamic Jihad and the PRC, fire a lot of rockets. But it's well known now that Islamic Jihad is funded and run by Tehran, by everyone in Iran. Tehran, of course, being the capital of Iran, and they don't really listen to Hamas anymore. PRC was responsible of that terrorist attack in August, which claimed the lives of 9 Israelis. And of course, there was a terrorist attack yesterday in southern Israel on the border. 1 Israeli construction worker dead. So this is important stuff to note too on Israel Sports Radio. So we're gonna get one more update for you. Ari's gonna check out Ynet Hebrew. We're looking at the English section. The Hebrew section's much more updated because of course they have to translate everything into English. So we're gonna see if there's anything we can report. 24 rockets and other things such as rockets. I don't know the words in English, but have been hit in the last few hours. We just got another report at 4 minutes ago that Tseva Adom, which is the it means the siren has been reported in the Azov of Sderot. We're waiting to hear from reports there, but things are looking bad right now. So we're gonna give some thoughts out to our Israeli brothers and sisters in southern Israel right now who are going through. It seems to be another round, over 30 rockets. It'll probably come down to. This could be heated up. When these things happen, they usually last a couple of days until there's a ceasefire. Maybe there won't be a ceasefire, but it's obvious there's a lot of things going on now. Bloodshed on the Israeli side and the Palestinian side. We hope the bloodshed ends on all sides, and that we can go back to living in peace. And we'll keep you updated on that, of course, tomorrow on what's going on. And tonight, maybe if you check out our Twitter, we'll give some Twitter for our listeners in America who want to know what's going on. I'll be following it up very closely. But I think that's important to know. What do you think, Ari? Just so our listeners in America who are supporter of the Jewish state, or even our Christian listeners who are supporters of the Jewish state, can understand what kind of country we live in and what's going on here.
Yeah, I don't know really what else to say except we said going back to peace. It's ever 100% peace right now. Hopefully, obviously, it's someday soon we'll have 100% peace.
Right.
And don't really say sports is a lot of fun, but it's
more to sports, as we told Mon, we just got reports now. The 2 rockets have landed in the Sderot area right by there. No injuries and no damage reported. But this is not good. I mean, there's been, as I said, now 26 rockets in the last 3 hours. That's a lot. That's a lot of rockets. And obviously there's going to be a response from the Israeli Air Force, and this could cause another back and forth tit for tat, they say, thing. And there's not much to say but what I said. We hope it ends, and until then we'll be following it very closely, keeping you updated. That it gets significant when it starts hitting the cities that are big cities with populations of over 100,000. Ashkelon, Ashdod, Beersheva is over 300,000. These are huge cities with some populations of 50,000 to 100,000 kids. So there's definitely going to be a response from the Israeli Air Force tonight. I promise you that. So we'll keep you updated via Twitter. I'll be on Twitter all night at Israel Sports Radio and at Sportsman Ralphie, keeping everyone updated on the situation, our loyal listeners. But, great show today, Ari. A lot of fun. Thanks for having me. I don't know why I said that, but I did. And I will not be here tomorrow.
But tell us who will be on.
I will tell you who will be on. We are tomorrow, if you could help me out with the date, Ari.
Tomorrow, of course, is the 20th.
Right. So tomorrow we're going to have our man Ari Bluestein on. We're going to have John Hayden to talk soccer. And Aaron is going to be in charge of that interview, I'm guessing, or Moshe, from the Washington Times, one of the competitors of Jim Williams. We're very proud to say now we've had on the whole Washington media market, Washington Post, Washington Times, the Washington Examiner, all great people too. Leonard Bernstein from the Washington Post, Jim Williams, 7-time Emmy Award winner, that's kind of his side job really at the Examiner. He's been in charge of so many things. And then now John Hayden, the soccer reporter for the Washington Times. Robert Byer will be on, we will talk to him about the NBA Finals. And Danny Bressler, who's a very, very well-known, up-and-coming play-by-play guy who works for Rutgers University right now. We'll talk to him. Ari Bluestein will be then, and then we'll keep you posted on Thursday because that's still in the air. We're going to find out more. But we can tell you a very exclusive and very special, really not a sports interview, to be honest, just connected to sports because it was on ESPN. But with Monica Cora, and Ari and I both interviewed her last night. We taped it. A very, heartwarming story of what she's been able to accomplish. Yes. Amazing woman, only 22 years old, writing a book, doing so much in the community, not afraid. So please, anyone out there who's listening, if you don't give a damn about sports, tune in. That will be probably at 6 p.m. We're not sure yet. We're making up slots right now. We're going to have great guests on Thursday as well. We might be joined. Actually, I can't confirm, but we will be joined by, just want to get the right name and the right title for you. And this is, I'm sure, will be exciting for Ari because we will be having on Ryan Fowler, who is the fantasy baseball and football editor for FoxSport.com.
Oh,
so
wow.
very, very big guest. Ryan Fowler will be joining us at 11:30 a.m. on Thursday. I will not be here, unfortunately, but I'm sure Ari will have a lot of fun with that with Moshe. And more guests. I mean, it's going to be a great week. We've had a great last couple of weeks, and Ari and I are working our butts off to get to the next level and have you listen to us on something else besides Israel Sports Radio and tune in, because there's more out there.
Absolutely.
And we've been talking a lot today, so I think Ari's going to do his thing, end the show like he always does. And like I said, please check out at Sportsman Rafi and at Israel Sports Radio tonight. We will update you on the situation in the South. I think it's a good idea. We're going to start doing that. If any listener in America wants to get more of a non-media, or not, we are media, but non-news, more of a
just a person.
Yeah,
just
personal,
people.
and everyone knows who we are, and everyone understands who we are. Okay, all right.
Well, basically just said, because we're two sports guys, and we're regular people. So if you want to get our perspective, you're more welcome to ask us about it. I want to thank the three gentlemen on tonight's program. Eric Stover, the former director of the New York Red Bulls. Clenari Carter, our southern correspondent to the United States. And the play-by-play man for the Chicago Bulls, Charles Swirsky. Stay tuned later on the week for much, much more programming and great, great stuff. But that's it for tonight. God bless and good night.
Good night. Bum, bum, ba-da-da.